Hello, everybody. Can you hear me? Can everybody hear me? Let me put my camera off because that's when I can tell if you can hear me because I can see the bubble moving. How's everybody doing? How's everybody doing? Oh, miss y'all. Hello, Mandy Mori. Hello, my dear. How are you? Oh, yeah, no kidding. Let spoken hurt stillness. Yes, welcome in. Thank you, Donna. Welcome in. Say hi to the mods. Miss y'all, but man, yours truly has had a wild few days. Wild few days. Number 4, yes, please, as you come in, do the YouTube hits and likes. And everybody say hi to our beautiful mods. Lloyd Lama, nice to see you. Catherine B, nice to see you. Hello, Laura. Hello, Laura. Canadian True Crime 2024, nice to see you, hun. I think I got most of everybody who's commented. So we're going to go into this case some more because y'all, I don't know if you've heard what's happened in the last 24 hours about Emmanuel Haro, baby Emmanuel Haro, but the experts are screaming. The parents are, noses growing for politeness, right? That the story's not adding up. Even Scott Gross from the behavior panel has chimed in. Detective rather, has chimed in. Most of us think these parents, their stories are not adding up. Then you add dad's background, and it seems like we all had it right. But did we get it all wrong? Because apparently there's a video that surfaced, according to Jake Harrow's attorney, that shows from the liquor store across the street, which we're going to watch, a video that shows a person falling to the ground, as their story suggests, that she was hit from behind and she fell to the ground, and getting back up. And now we're hearing of a possible sighting of baby Emmanuel. So let me just preface by saying I've not been in true crime all that long on YouTube, right? Like, I truly haven't. I started with Sebastian Rogers back in March 15th, I think, of 2024. So a year and a half. But y'all, some of the videos we're going to watch are people that are way more seasoned than me. And everybody thinks if there's ever been a case where the parents look suspect, this would be it. This case is it. If there was ever a case where the parents look suspect, this one is it. So I want to dig in. What's this? What are these stories of suspected sightings and a video? Like, is there any truth to that? Could we possibly have gotten it wrong? And the only way we may have gotten it wrong is if that black eye didn't occur from her being struck in the head, because there's video that we're going to watch tonight that surfaces. Yeah, and the house is on fire in the neighborhood. Like, I mean, it's wild. It's the case is crazy as crazy can be, like in a week. So we're going to go through all that tonight and maybe look at it and see possibly their account doesn't seem right to me. I'm just trying to be devil's advocate for a second here, just for a second. And to just maybe we all got it wrong in the beginning. I'm still leaning towards not likely, not likely we all got it wrong. Hello, Lisa. And Lloyd Lamb, absolutely. And that's what I'm thinking. Okay, so if there's any credibility to this other possible sighting, then, and I watched a couple clips this morning of a detective, an active detective. We'll watch his clip, and he says, regrettably, or I don't know if he's active or not. Sorry, I'm getting my channels mixed up. Regrettably, they have to follow up with that lead. Well, not regrettably, because if it's true, man, they got to find this child, right? But that with this video that shows someone dropping. So, to make those two stories be both true, one, she would have been hit by the back of the head, which means the black eye didn't occur from that, which there's video to show she had a black eye before that, which I have said, and Scott Rouse has said, and he's from the behavior panel, if you don't know him. He has said on Ashley Banfield's show that he thinks she is the victim of domestic abuse, which I said, a few days ago. So did she get the black eye under a totally different circumstance from Jake, apparently, allegedly, potentially, was hit in the head? Was this set up by Jake? Like, y'all, who knows? So there's also the interesting fact that he has lawyered up, and the lawyer is not representing her. So what's with that? Like, why would you represent one and not the other, unless you think you might have to testify against each other down the road? Doesn't it seem kind of odd? So yeah, I know, honey. Hey, Angel, nice to see you. I know it's welcome in the autumn. I know it's yeah, absolutely. But there's another one that I saw, Vanilla. There's another one that I'm going to pull up from another detective who has a podcast, and he's the one that was talking about. We're going to watch both of them. Yeah, absolutely. Nice to see you, Vanilla. Sharon Parker, nice to see you. Yes, I heard that, Lloyd Lama. So we're going to go through all of it. We're going to go through all of it today, and I want to hear what you think about some of this. And if anybody wants to come up and join me, you're welcome to do that. But I'm just like, let's get into it, because this case doesn't, like, it's just the strangest case. It's taken so many twists and turns in just a week that I thought, maybe we can highlight the last 24 hours, 2 days, and see if we can piece something together that doesn't make sense, or we can, find a hole in the narrative, if you will. But yeah, okay, let's start with this first video. And this is the other detective that I was talking about. I got to set it up because I've got to edit. I've got to allow for their, I have to go and add the banners. I'm a little late because yours truly was on the phone with Miss Jan. She's had a busy week, um, looking for that missing child in her neighborhood, which is crazy scary. Right down the, okay, so credit, let me just edit. So I'm a little bit behind, and then so there we go. Let's watch this because this is a really, it's a commentary and it's interesting.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Crime Weekly News. I'm Derek Levasseur.
And I'm Stephanie Harlow.
And tonight, we're going to be looking into a case that has shaken a California community and raised more questions than answers. A young mother claims her infant son was taken outside a retail store, but as investigators dug a little deeper, the story began to unravel. Conflicting accounts, an abrupt end to cooperation with law enforcement, and a father with a troubling past has all led to one haunting question: what happened to baby Emmanuel? And this is something that came across my X page, and I know a lot of people are talking about it online. So even though there's not a ton of information out there yet, we wanted to cover it here for anybody who hasn't heard about it and kind of talk a little bit about where we are as of right now.
Yeah, I think there's enough information that things are looking a little strange. And at first,
I think most people would agree.
Yeah, it's all over TikTok. And when it first happened, people were saying kind of right off the bat, something doesn't sound right about this. And I kind of held back. I was like, let me keep an eye on this. Let me wait and see. What's going to sell it for me is if there's some sort of concrete evidence that comes out where these parents have a past with child abuse or something like that, where it doesn't really make a lot of sense. And that is what happened. So this all centers around 7-month-old Emmanuel Haro. And according to a press release from the San Bernardino County Sheriff's Department, on August 14th, before 8 p.m. local time, Rebecca Haro said her infant son was kidnapped outside a retail store on Yucaipa Boulevard in Yucaipa, California, which is 10 miles east of San Bernardino. Police have since interviewed multiple people, including both of Emmanuel's parents, Rebecca and Jacob. However, according to the police, during those interviews, when Rebecca was confronted with inconsistencies in her story, she declined to continue the interview. Now, Emmanuel's grandmother, who she's recently come out, she says she believes the couple is innocent, that these parents, Rebecca and Jacob, loved their son. They would never do anything to him. She claims that law enforcement asked Rebecca and Jacob to take lie detector tests, but Jacob refused to do so without a lawyer present. That's not what the police are saying. The police are saying that when there was inconsistencies they found in Rebecca's initial story, they kind of pressed her on this, and that's when she pulled back and she was like, nah, I'm all set, I'm not cooperating anymore, and cut all contact. It was also reported that this past Saturday, the authorities searched the family's home with cadaver dogs, and law enforcement has also announced that they cannot rule out foul play. So
Well, I mean, everybody keeps saying that law enforcement has said that they cannot rule out foul play, but I mean, it's a crazy comment because there's foul play, like no matter what. Like, he's 7 months old. He didn't walk out the door. I mean, clearly somebody took him out the car or the house, out of the house. So I don't understand why the law enforcement are saying that they can't rule out foul play. Like, it's clearly foul play. Like, there's no ifs, buts about it. It's foul play either way, whether he was kidnapped or the parents did something nefarious.
I'm going to do here, I don't think Derek has seen this yet. I'm going to play the interview with Rebecca and Jacob that they kind of gave in the early days after Emmanuel went missing or was kidnapped, depending on who you believe and what you believe. And then we're going to kind of talk about it and discuss just the things she said. How plausible is this story? What are you doing if you're law enforcement in the situation? It's 2025. There's cameras everywhere. There's cell phones everywhere. What are we going to do as law enforcement to kind of go forward and find these inconsistencies that they claim they have found in Rebecca's story?
No, he's gone. I can't find him. If you know anything, please come and bring my son back, please. I'm begging you.
It's a mother's desperate plea for help in finding her 7-month-old baby boy, Emmanuel. Rebecca Harrow says it all happened Thursday evening around 7. She, her husband, and their 2 other children were at a nearby park for their older son's football practice. She says she drove over to this Big Five store to buy a mouth guard for her older son.
I came over here. I parked right here in this edge. When I was coming over here, I smelled the baby went to the restroom. It's like, okay, Papa, don't worry, we're going to change you.
Rebecca says she took out a diaper and laid the baby down next to the car seat. She only remembers a voice she heard.
I was going to get the diaper and somebody said, hola. And I didn't see nothing since. I woke up right here on the floor. And I did.
Well, I don't know. Look, and I woke up here on the floor and she's pointing to the ground. The lawyer comes out and says, this is like, I don't know how literate she is. I don't know that you need to be literate unless he's referring to her ability to speak English. I'm not sure, but because she points to the ground and says floor. So what do y'all think? Do y'all think this event, because I didn't see her point to the floor. I thought she was remembering what maybe have happened in the home, in my opinion. Should E retain for the Tetra and go to jail for his daughter who's I know. In your opinion. Yeah. It's a wild case, y'all. It's a wild case. And I'm really surprised. I don't know. Like, let's hope we hear updates. I thought we would have heard by now some updates, but
See Emmanuel.
Rebecca says she woke up with a black eye and her baby gone. She searched around the car, ran into the store, then called 911.
Everybody came, the dogs, helicopters.
But no sign of Emmanuel and no witness to what may have happened.
Whoever took my son, please return him. We just want him back. We won't do anything to you. We just give us our son. Just keep him safe. Don't hurt him. Make sure you feed him, change him.
Emmanuel's father, Jake, says his family does not have any enemies and can't imagine who or why anyone would take their baby.
If you know anything, please come forward or take him to the cops or please let us know anything, please.
Okay. All right. I've listened. I've watched.
So what do you think of the story? They're at a game for one of their older children. She's got to get a mouth guard
Yep.
for this kid.
Yep. Which
she goes to
that's
the store.
reasonable so far.
Mm-hmm. Goes to the store. She can tell Emmanuel needs a diaper change. She lays him down on the car seat, which, you know, we've all done a million times. You have small children, you change your kids where you got to change your kids. Even though I will say, usually bathrooms inside these stores do have an actual dedicated changing station. So if you're going to go inside the store anyways, why wouldn't you have just brought him in with you, change the diaper there where you can dispose of it, have like a sanitary kind of location to do that. But
I mean, I do see her point. But those places are not sanitary, in my experience, you know? Either it's the back seat of a car or a trunk of a car, and we don't know. Maybe he needed to change the clothing if the story's right, you know, maybe he had a little accident, like we don't know. So while I do agree with the statement, you know, there's so many explanations. Thank you, Lola Sears. Only a quarter of us, 90 watching and only 30 likes. Thank you, sweetie. 92. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yes. You know, help a girl get some YouTube subscribers out. Help me out. And also, let's just keep the story alive, please. Because we don't know right now. We're all assuming. But I mean, on the other hand, until we found them, you know, we have to make yeah, I mean, yeah, we all have to, you know, look at this like, what if this baby is out there? Let's get this going viral, please. So please, it doesn't cost you anything to do the thumbs up.
regardless, then she hears what she says is a voice who says, hola. And then she gets punched in the face, black eye. She doesn't see anything.
Yep.
And she falls down on the ground. And then when she wakes up, as some undetermined amount of time later, Emmanuel is gone. She runs in the store. They haven't seen him. And she mentions during her interview a few times, I don't know if I got that part, but she keeps saying there's no cameras. It was a really dark area, things like that. So personally, I don't know how you could get punched in the face and get a black eye without turning and seeing something, but maybe it was so fast. She doesn't know what happened. But once again, law enforcement is saying there's inconsistencies in the story. I just want to get an opinion from you. What do you make of this? You know, I found it very Chris Wattsy when the father was like, we just want him back. We just want him back. Make sure you're feeding him and changing him. We won't do anything to you. Very odd. Without knowing any further information about this case or about these people, as a former investigator, what do you make of their mannerisms, the story itself, all of it?
This might be surprising to some of you, but without any other details, without the conflicting accounts, without the lack of cooperation with law enforcement, just watching that video, I find it believable, right? But that's a surface level approach. I'm only looking at a minute footage, but when you dig a little deeper.
And he used to be, or I don't know if he still is. I just missed that because I was reading the comments. So let's just listen to that again. He found it believable. It was just shocking to me.
But without any other details, without the conflicting accounts, without the...
Very odd. Without knowing any further information about this case or about these people, as a former investigator, what do you make of their mannerisms, the story itself, all of it?
This might be surprising to some of you, but without any other details, without the conflicting accounts, without the lack of cooperation with law enforcement, just watching that video, I find it believable, right? But that's a surface level approach. I'm only looking at a minute footage, but when you dig a little deeper, there are some questions that I have. As far as what you said, not seeing anything, that could be explained by two ways. Basically, she hears Ola and the person sucker punches her in the side of the face. The second explanation would be as soon as she turned her head, she got punched and she lost a little bit of her memory. She doesn't remember maybe 30 seconds, right before that, but she definitely has a black eye.
She does.
So
for those listening, not watching,
she definitely has a black eye, which is consistent with the story. She definitely got punched in the face by someone who that is. It does look like a black eye that you would get from getting punched. It is consistent with that. So if it wasn't a fist, it was something that was round in shape to kind of replicate a fist. It's either in an unfortunate set of circumstances that the Big Five doesn't have cameras, or it was, on the...
But the liquor store across the street has cameras, and we're going to show that. And we're also going to show she did have 2 black eyes a few days before this. We're going to show that video too, so stick around. So what's with her falling to the ground? Was that staged? Why do that? I mean, Patricia, this one is a wild, like, just when you think true crime couldn't get any crazier, here comes another crazy ass story. It's just a wild one. This one's a wild one.
Other hand, premeditated, where this was a place that was chosen because it doesn't have cameras. Although I always get a little apprehensive about saying it's premeditated, because that person would have to have some knowledge of the security system, because just because you don't see the cameras, it doesn't mean...
And again, I don't know if these guys haven't heard the rumors or just trying to stay on the speculation zone, which I totally don't disagree with. But there is a rumor out there, whether or not it's true, is yet to be seen. But there is a rumor out there that they went the week before to the same store asking if there were cameras because someone tried to break into their car rather. So did they choose this place deliberately? Begs the question.
They don't exist. So to take that risk, not knowing 100% whether they have cameras or not, is a big chance. So the fact that they don't have cameras there is...
Well, we don't know. She said they don't have cameras there.
Well,
but I find it hard to believe in 2025 that any establishment, especially because I think with a lot of like insurance policies and stuff with stores like this, having cameras monitoring like the parking lot and the inside of the store, I think a lot of insurance companies
like require it at this point.
That.
Yeah, I would agree. And if not that store, they could have been out or whatever, but from just a little bit of footage we had, you had a Jack in the Box right there. You have some other businesses.
That's what I'm saying. So I'm wondering if her inconsistent
Somebody's
stories,
got a camera.
Yeah, her inconsistent stories are police saying, oh, actually the big M does have cameras, but you happen to park in an area of the parking lot where they couldn't see you. However, a business across the road does have a good view of that part of the parking lot, and we don't see you there at all. So where were you?
Well, that's exactly what happened. Although the lawyer alleges you can see somebody dropping to the ground and getting back up. Just, he doesn't mention you can see the baby being taken. So we have yet to, we're going to watch that because we know where that footage came from. We're going to watch that too, but we don't get to see the footage. We just hear about it. So we're going to have to wait for that to come out, which I'm sure it will. I'm sure it will.
And then that's when she's in her interview and she's like, you know what? I don't want to talk about this anymore. That's what I'm thinking.
Are you saying the Big M or Big Five? I think it was Big Five.
Oh, it's Big Five.
Big Five sporting goods stores. Yeah. So yeah, I'm with you. I think that there's probably going to be some other cameras there, maybe some witness testimony from other people who were in the parking lot at that time who may know something, because the store was open. She was going in for a mouthpiece. I have to imagine she wasn't the only person there. So did anybody else see anything? And if they saw something, was it consistent with her story as far as where she parked?
I think we've seen this a lot in cases where people say, oh yeah, I pulled up to the gas station and then I did this, this, and this. And then my girlfriend got out of the car and got in another car with some strange people and drove off. And then they'll review surveillance footage, whether from that store or surrounding businesses, and be like, actually, that didn't happen. You got there alone. And I'm wondering if that's what they're saying. Like, actually, you did pull up to the Big Five, but you just rushed out of the car and ran right into the store. It doesn't look like you're changing any baby or nothing's happening here.
The biggest issue for me is not what we're seeing in the video. It's something completely different, because we always talk about windows of opportunity, right? And how sometimes you can put yourself in a position where you become a victim. And that is more in line with like walking out of the gym and having your headphones in. Think about the window of opportunity that would have taken place here. It would have been very small, where she pulls into the parking lot, she gets out of the car, she doesn't even take the baby out of the vehicle, she leans in and was about to change his diaper. So ask yourself this: if there is a suspect, this suspect literally would have had to have been walking out of the store or in a vehicle very close by, just waiting for this opportunity to happen within this 30 to 45-second window of opportunity, knowing that there's a baby in the backseat and that there's nobody else in the car who could defend her if they decided to attack her. So,
or they were following her with the intent of waiting for her to be alone, I guess.
But how did they know that she was going to need to get a mouthpiece to be alone? I mean, these are things that, yes, I can't say 100% it didn't happen, but it would have to be the perfect set of circumstances for this to go down the way she's describing it, which is why I think law enforcement was a little skeptical at first, because what we would have to believe is that this woman pulls into the lot and gets out of the car, jumps out, and immediately this person's right there ready to attack her. And then the question becomes why? Why this baby? Why Emmanuel?
Why would you say hola when you're walking up if you're trying to catch her unaware?
Yeah, just punch her and just go. Not to be crass, but just punch her and go, or just throw her to the ground. Whatever you got to do, get that element of surprise. So there's definitely some questions here. It's hard because this could be the worst moment of their lives.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, can we talk about something else? Because the conflicting accounts, that could mean a lot of things. I would guess that means there's witnesses who saw something different. If there's no cameras.
Or like I said, surveillance, or even cell phone coordinates, who knows?
There's something there that's not lining up.
Yeah.
I want to ask you, and I want to ask our audience about the abrupt end of the cooperation with law enforcement, because I do think there may be two sides of this coin and people may feel differently about it. For me, I've always told you guys, if you find yourself in a predicament where you're being questioned by law enforcement, have a lawyer present.
Now, this is an ex-investigator, and that's his advice. So, yeah, it could be, especially, like, let's just assume, which we all don't agree with, like, let's just make an assumption that they're right, their story is correct. I know most of us here don't feel that is the case, but let's just pretend it's correct. And you're Rebecca, and he's abusive, and he has a history and a past. I'd lure the heck up too. Well, first of all, I wouldn't be with a man that has a past like this. Hello, Rita, nice to see you. But I mean, I can see why you might want to lawyer up too. So again, there's some of these things can be explained and some not so much,
I don't find any issue with it. Having someone there while you're cooperating with law enforcement to make sure that you don't say anything that could get yourself in trouble when you didn't do anything wrong. I would tell that to my best friends and my family members. I would do it for myself.
In this situation with your child being missing?
I would probably, yeah, I probably would. But what I wouldn't do, which is where I was going with this, is stop cooperating with them.
Stop contacting altogether.
No,
yeah.
I would not do that. I would have my lawyer present. If I felt like you guys are kind of looking at me a little bit here, and we're going to talk about Amy Bradley again this week.
But they do this with families and parents of missing children. They're supposed to do this. Yeah.
And I was just going to say, we're talking about Amy Bradley, and there are some people there who are like, oh, why would you even, suggest that the family could be involved? I hate to tell you guys, but if you had someone work in your case, if you had a detective work in your case, do you want the guy who's going to look under every stone, or do you want the guy who's only going to look under the stones where he's not going to offend anybody? You want the person who's going to vet everything. And so part of it is the last person to be with the baby and any family members or friends who could be connected to it. That's part of the process, but there is a way to do it respectfully.
And it's just statistics.
Yeah.
It's statistics as well, right? I mean, most children that go missing, the stranger abduction is not the most common reason a child goes missing. So the statistics show, and not only in this case, but even with Amy Bradley, the statistics show that when a crime happens against someone, it is usually or often somebody who knows them, somebody who's close to them. It's very rare, not rare, but more rare statistically, that this is just some random act of violence or random abduction by a stranger. Those are just the statistics. So of course, law enforcement has to explore that option and rule those people out first before even going further. So if they're not cooperating with police and they're preventing them from ruling the parents out as suspects, how can they even go further? And on that note, don't really have a lot that they can do here because an Amber Alert can't be issued.
That's right.
There's no suspect or vehicle description, so they can't even put on an Amber Alert for Emmanuel. And officials with the Uvalde Foundation for Kids, they were initially offering a $5,000 reward for information leading to Emmanuel's recovery. Well, they called off their independent search less than a day after they announced it, with the foundation's founder, Daniel Chapin, saying, quote, "We cannot in good conscience utilize our team and resources when so much is missing in this case. Of particular concern to us lies with the inconsistencies in the details and the sudden decision by the mother to end communication with law enforcement and our team, something."
Okay, this is a statement from the Uvalde search team. And yes, Grace, we were just saying that. You must just have come in because I just said that about 5 minutes ago. Absolutely, honey. And now they're reading the statement from the Uvalde search team. Listen, we cannot in good conscience utilize our team and resources when so much is missing in this case. Of particular concern to us lies within the inconsistencies and the details and the sudden decision by the mother to end communication with law enforcement and our team. Something is not right in this whole picture. So, I mean, again, over and over, we're going to listen to some videos after this one in a minute of experts who don't feel the story adds up. But now we've got this mysterious sighting and a video, according to their lawyer, which we haven't seen, that shows from the liquor store across the street of somebody dropping in the parking lot, falling and getting back up. But I mean, if you were going to go to the extent of staging the whole thing, why not actually get somebody to take the baby? Like, why stage it half concocted, half staged? I'm not clear, but we're going to talk this out tonight. We're going to talk this out this after.
End quote.
I think that's the best way to put it. Something is not right.
Yeah.
We don't know what it is yet. Can't put our finger on it. Law enforcement probably already has a pretty good clue. But just from the outside looking in, something is not right. Something is not adding up here.
This is where it comes in now that the father, Jake Mitchell Harrow, has a past. So Riverside County Superior Court records show that Jake Harrow has a June 2023 felony conviction for child cruelty from a 2018 arrest. And he was sentenced to 180 days in jail and 48 months of probation. He's also scheduled to appear in court on this matter in early September for an alleged probation violation. So we have a history of maybe Jake not being so great with kids, to put it mildly.
That's a big red flag. And you know what that's going to do? When you see something like that, law enforcement naturally is going to ask, did the father do something to Emmanuel? And if that's the case, there's a real possibility that Emmanuel was never in the Big 5 parking lot and he was never at this sporting event. So they're going to go back to that sporting event where the other child was and say, hey, listen, did you see Rebecca? Did you see Jake?
Well, that's another thing that's come out, right, y'all? People are saying that the baby wasn't at the baseball game, and the grandmother's coming out saying, well, he was in a car because what was the excuse? He was in the car for some reason and not actually out in public. So it's like, why was the baby in the car at the baseball game? Isn't that kind of like, was the AC on the whole time? Like,
and did you happen to see them with Emmanuel at any point? Did you physically see them out of the car with Emmanuel at any point?
Right.
Because
thanks, Krista.
there is a possibility that if Jake
Okay, so make that make sense. I can't bring my infant out. I'm going to call him an infant because 7 months old. To me, 1 to 6 months is infant. That's just the way I've always labeled them. And he's 7 months old, and he's pretty darn near an infant. Because he didn't get his shots. So make that make sense. I don't want to take my baby out in the natural outdoor outside environment where there's free fresh air flowing because he didn't get his shots, but I'll take him into a store with a bunch of people walking around in a closed space where likely to get more viruses and bacteria in the air, but I'll take him inside the store. So that's also a really, just doesn't add up. 2 + 2 is not 5, and it just doesn't add up to me. To me, that one doesn't add up. Yeah, I think so. I think so. If they're in fact involved, I would suspect, because we're going to see a clip now. Grandma references that there was another grandson in the family. Well, there's a clip we're going to show in a minute where she's at the funeral or the celebration of life, and the baby's not there. And the family's going, where's the baby? Where's the baby? Jake's not there. Emmanuel, the baby Emmanuel's not there, and she's got bruises all over her eyes, and the baby is not there. So why is the baby not there? Yeah, I get it. Yeah, Grace, exactly. Like, where is, yeah, I welcome in, Kristen. I don't know. Couldn't be out because they didn't get him. I know, but Rita, that makes no sense. Like, why can you take him into a store to go shopping and not have any concerns where viruses or bacteria are way more likely to spread than outside in the fresh air? Like, to me, that just doesn't make sense, you know? It just doesn't make sense. We're almost done this clip because boy, we've got a long one tonight. I got lots to show. So stick
To
around.
Emmanuel earlier in the day. Maybe he's the one who gave Rebecca the black eye.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah.
This could have been all kind of set up to look like this to explain why Emmanuel is no longer with us. Either way, there's a baby missing, and it doesn't look good. It does not look good because on one hand, if the parents are lying, that's probably not a good outcome coming from this.
I don't know what you're implying, honey, but if you have anything you want to send it to me, please do. Please do. Yeah, well, this is what, right? This is what it's starting to look like as a possibility. And the police have come out and stated, y'all, this is also very unusual. And we're going to watch this as well from, here, let me type it in for you. The law enforcement have come out and said publicly too that there's inconsistencies in the statements and stopped searching for them and then brought the cadaver dogs out. I mean, yeah, no kidding, Karen. I mean, it's the craziest. I mean, I really hope we're all wrong. Like, I desperately hope we're all wrong, but it just doesn't feel like we're going to find this boy alive. It really feels like that's not going to be the end result. And I'm hoping I'm wrong. I'm hoping I'm wrong.
If we find out what happened to Emmanuel. On the other hand, if it is exactly the way Rebecca's describing it, also not a good outcome that usually comes from this. So this is a dire situation. We have to find him as soon as possible because minutes or hours or days in this situation, it's the more time that passes, the less likely we are to find Emmanuel in good condition.
And it's already been way too many days.
That's
honestly.
what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. So it's not looking good. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but I think most of you who are astute to true crime at this point, have been around with us for a while, know that at this point, there's a reason that all of these people are backing away from this. A lot of what they know probably hasn't even been publicly disseminated. They're just hearing from their colleagues and their sources that this is bad, and that's why they're backing away from it. So not a good situation. There's not much we can learn from this one. We have to wait and see what happens and then report it to you guys, because I don't want to cast judgment on the family until I know definitively that they were involved. And there's another side to this that we're not really talking about right now, but there obviously is a distrust with law enforcement in certain communities, and maybe that's their apprehension for wanting to work with law enforcement. I don't know. But again, just to quote that individual who said it earlier, it does not look good, and we don't have the whole picture.
It doesn't, and something feels very, very off to me, just in general. I was also thinking that this could have been a domestic violence issue, which is where the black eye came from.
Yep.
That led, I mean, possibly maybe Jacob was attacking Emmanuel and she tried to interfere, or maybe I don't know. It's just, it doesn't really make sense the way she said it. And I think a lot of people agree, and hopefully this ends with Emmanuel being recovered and brought back safely, regardless of where he is or who he's brought back to. But as Derek said, it's not looking good for that. And the police have visited their home with cadaver dogs. So clearly law enforcement does believe there's some suspicion to be held with these two parents. But let us know what you think about the interview, what they said, the story. What is your take on it? I know a lot of people have strong opinions on this right now. In fact, I was a little surprised to see how strong the opinions were coming out the gate, because I think people usually try to reserve that when it's a situation like this. You just don't know. You don't want to accuse parents who just lost their child of anything. And so usually you don't see that kind of coming out until a little bit later, when more information has surfaced. But a lot of people right now are kind of coming out and saying, hey, I watched enough true crime to know this is not setting right with anyone. So let us know what you think in the comments about the interviews, about what they said, about the whole story in general.
I agree. I agree. Like, normally we wouldn't jump to this conclusion, but I mean, everybody is, including Scott Grouse, we're going to watch now, not believing their story. And if you don't know Scott Grouse, he's a behavioral expert. And he trains military, I think it is, government, etc. And I said gross. I think it's Scott Grouse. I'm sorry if I said that incorrectly. I just want to get a banner up, but yeah, it's the more professionals that come up and say the same thing, it just seems, how could we all have gotten it wrong? But then how do you explain this video, unless it was staged, and this missing reporting of him, of baby Emmanuel?
Everybody's looking for baby Emmanuel. His parents have been interviewed, and there's some questionable things going on there from a body language and behavior perspective. So let's take a look.
I fell on the floor, and I said, as I got up, I couldn't find my son. I got him out of the car seat, and I laid him down so I could get his diapers ready. And somebody said, "Hold on, that's all I remember." And I saw white. And then hearing something, I fell on the floor, and I said, as I got up, I couldn't find my son. I checked all around my truck, and I ran into Big Five, and I asked the lady if she saw a baby or someone with a baby. She said no. It was a happy boy. He smiled.
Whoever took our son, please give him back.
The search for this 7-month-old baby boy continues. Police and the family desperate to find out where he is.
All right, let's go through this section by section.
I fell on the floor, and
First off, there's a lot missing. We're not seeing anything happen up here in the glabella. When someone is concerned, when someone's grieving, when someone is sad, you'll see these eyebrows come in, and this little group of muscles right here is called the glabella. And you'll see those things group up and wrinkle. We're not seeing that here. Another thing missing is the engagement of the orbicularis oculi, this muscle here that goes around the eyes. When she squints because she's sad, it's these muscles pushing up to make her squint. If she really was sad, that entire muscle in there would engage. And your brain does that. It's tough for you to do it yourself because your cheeks would push up. A lot would push up in here, more than just squinting like this. That whole section would move up. Something's not right here.
And I said, as I got up, I couldn't find my son. I got him out of the car seat.
We don't see any tears. We don't see any evidence of tears.
No, I mean, that is the worst case of acting I've ever, I don't know, man. I mean, that itself is just floors me. Yes, I'm going to show that, Kim. It's true. I have it. We are going to watch it. Yeah, it just seems phony and fake. It absolutely does. And this no crocodile tears is really disturbing too.
When you're grieving or crying, you're going to well up. You're going to cry. You're going to see tears. And listen when she's gasping for air.
And I said, as I got up, I couldn't find my son. I got him out of the car seat.
She's not really gasping for air. That's fake.
Yep.
And I said, as I got up, I couldn't find my son. I got him out of the car seat.
How do we know? Because when somebody really cries, when you do, just like a little child, and you get to cry real big, your abdomen has a little spasm. And that's what makes you breathe in real quick. You're trying to catch your breath. You're trying to get oxygen, but you can't because you're talking.
I got him out of the car seat.
That's why when she's doing the intake breath, it's not fast enough. It's not quick enough. That's not real.
And I laid him down so I could get his diapers ready. And somebody said,
her eyebrows aren't engaged at all, not even a little bit.
And I laid him down so I could get his diapers ready. And somebody said,
when you're sad, when you're happy, when you're angry, when you're concerned, the eyebrows engage. Nothing's happening. And this isn't Botox.
No, it's not Botox. She's got zero motion. I mean, y'all, I get it. I think so too. Well, this is just crazy. So, I mean, it's giving me she's afraid of him for sure. But then why does she also show no emotion? This is what's interesting, right? Because if she's afraid of him and something really happened to her baby, she'd be bawling her eyes out right now, even though the story's concocted, the truth of the story of if something really happened to the baby, she'd be devastated right now. I just don't get it.
It helps form the grief muscle, which we'll talk about in a minute.
Hold on, that's all I remember. And
we're seeing a combination of things here as far as expressions go. This is mostly an expression of fear, not fear for the child, something happening to the child. This is fear for herself. Those shoulders should be pulled forward and down, then up. So it does this, whereas hers are just scooted up.
I saw white. And then hearing something, I fell on the floor.
Not only is she not crying, we don't see anything in the nose. Usually it gets kind of snotty when you're crying or you're sad. Out here, she doesn't even have a Kleenex. Nothing's been going on in there.
And
Nothing's been going on in there. No, nothing's going on much
as I
much
got
in
up,
there,
I
I
couldn't find
think.
my son. I checked all around my truck, and I ran into Big Five. And
Maybe,
I asked
maybe
the
Hope.
lady if she saw a baby or someone with a baby. She said no.
If somebody hit her, they had to hit her from the front because that's where the bruise is on her face, under her eye. So theoretically, she should have seen them since.
Well, we know now that the bruise, and Scott likely didn't see this video that I'm going to show you in a minute. She did have a bruise before this. She tried to conceal it, and it was on both eyes. So maybe she was, if the story is correct, hit from behind, and we just all assumed the bruise was from the hit, but this bruise was from something else.
They would have been right in front of her. I doubt someone could come around the side like that from the back and then pull forward and hit her. And she would have said that.
And I said, as I got up, I couldn't find my son. I checked all around my truck, and I ran into Big Five. And I asked the lady if she saw a baby or someone with a baby. She said no.
Then she says she couldn't find her son and she checked everywhere. That's not what's going to happen when your kid's missing.
And I ran into Big Five. And I asked the lady if she saw a baby or someone with a baby. She said no.
If you're knocked out and you become conscious and your kid isn't right there, you're going to start screaming. You'll be yelling for help. Where's my child? Somebody help me. Somebody's got my child. But not here. She runs inside and asks them if they've seen a baby or somebody with a baby. Then they call 911. Theoretically, if it were me or you, we'd be freaking out. She wasn't. And keep in mind, she asked a lady. She didn't go in screaming and hollering. Something's not right here.
Happy boy. He smiled.
She talks about him in the past tense. He was a happy boy. He smiled. Something's not right here.
He was a healthy baby. He was crawling. He was kicking. He was playing with his toys.
Right out of the gate, this guy is talking about that child in the past tense. He was a healthy baby. He was crawling. He was kicking.
He was a healthy baby. He was crawling. He was kicking. And he was playing with his toys.
Everything missing in his wife's face is missing in his face.
Whoever took our son.
The sclera, the white parts of the eyes, those aren't red, not in his or hers. If you're crying, if you're upset, if you're grieving, they're going to be red because you're crying. Not here. They're white as the driven snow.
Whoever took our son.
This guy is sick, a sick human, a really sick human, just based on what he did to his other infant daughter, which we're going to show as well. Wild case,
And guess who
y'all.
else isn't sniffling?
Whoever took our son.
His eyebrows should be up. He should be asking for help. He's not, and he's much too quiet.
Please give him back.
Those fake breaths, the breathe in and out, whoever took our son, the heavy breaths. No, that's fake too. Those breaths wouldn't be going out. They should be coming in. He'd be trying to get oxygen because he's crying so much or grieving so much and breathing heavily from the stress. Something's not right here.
Whoever took our son. Please give him back.
Please give him back. No, you'd say, listen, please bring my child back. Please, we'll do anything. We'll do anything. You just let us know what it is and we will do it. Not here.
Please give him back.
Something's not right here.
He's just a baby. Just give our son back, please.
Theoretically, one of those people would be comforting the other, most likely the father. That's the way it's done every time. But no, he's trying to engage with the camera.
He's just a baby. Just give our son back, please.
And again, the breasts, those are being pushed out. They're not being sucked in. There's no abdominal spasm going on there. That should be going on there. Look how far apart they are. Most of the time, the parents are clinging to each other, trying to comfort one another. Something's not right here.
I was gonna get the diaper, and somebody said hola, and I didn't see nothing since.
This is a different interview. Still, no engagement of the eyebrows. You don't see any grief muscle. You don't see anything happening in the glabella. Nothing. No tears. No runny nose. No sniffing. Nothing.
I woke up right here on the.
I don't know. That's the part that, like, I do think she's the victim of abuse, domestic abuse. I really think that, but I also think this woman's got zero empathy or compassion and emotion. So I just trying to reconcile the two in my head to see, like, if she's the victim and she suspects him, why would she not run to the police instead of going along with this cover up and the zero lack of, like, the zero emotion, like the lack of tears and everything? It doesn't make her look good in all of this, despite whether she's a victim of abuse or not. I don't know, man. Was she that terrified of him, or what's going on?
And I didn't see Emmanuel.
Finally, we see some engagement in the brow. The eyebrows do start to come together here. It is possible. She's not Botoxed. Again, look how far away they're sitting from each other. I think she's afraid of this guy. Now he's insulating, and we insulate by doing this. We'll cry so much we can't talk. We'll be so overwhelmed we can't talk. Or we'll do something like what he's doing. He's covering his eyes and looking down. He's so upset he can't talk. And look how she leans away from him. Something's not right here. The police will get to the bottom of this. They'll find out what's going on. One of them will talk. I think it's going to be her. Now, keep in mind, I could be wrong about all this. I'm just telling you what I see and how it looks from my perspective. I'm telling you about the cues of body language that should be there that aren't. I'm telling you about the things we should see that we're not seeing, the things we should hear that we're not hearing. But something's not right here. Tell me what you think in the comments, because I read all of them.
Yeah, I mean, Scott is well renowned. Like he's the bomb, right? Like he does, this is what he does as a professional. And so when he says this looks suspect, I mean, if you watch the behavioral panel, that was his own personal channel. But if you watch the behavioral panel, I mean, they rarely come out and just say something ain't right here. Like they try to be careful to cage. This looks a little sus, this that you know, but they're careful. So this one surprised me at how frank he was. And this is my point. Like everybody really doesn't think these people are innocent. So why are we seeing, I just want to pull up the next video. Whoops, wrong one. Why is this? Oh, interesting. Why am I not getting? I had pulled up research for an article, possible sighting of baby Harrow. There it is. There it is. Like, how is this even possible? There's a possible sighting. So what if we got this all wrong? What if we got this all wrong? His last two babies. Don't look at this. I know. I got it. I know. Well, there's only the good news as we will get to it is they have removed the 2-year-old from their home. But listen to this, a possible sighting. And again, I've got way more to show, so stick around. But this is a possible sighting. Is like, to what extent would these people go if they're fabricating this? I don't know.
Details with another local case now making national headlines, many asking, where is baby Emmanuel?
Tomorrow marks 1 week since that child's mother claimed she was attacked in a parking lot and her child taken. Investigators said there are inconsistencies in her story, though. Now, new this morning, the San Bernardino County Sheriff's Department says it is aware of a possible sighting of Emmanuel in Kern County. We're also now learning the vehicle of the child's father, Jake Harrow, was seized by investigators, and he turned over his cell phone. His attorney issued a statement last night saying Jake Harrow is fully cooperating with law enforcement and investigators.
And all this happening as a massive fire breaks out at a home on the same block as where the Harrows live. At this point, investigators say there's no connection to the missing child and the location appears to be a coincidence. But CAL FIRE arson investigators are now working the scene.
Okay, well, I tried to get their banner up, but as usual, StreamYard, hang on. Try to get the banner up to show, to give them credit. But as usual, StreamYard is acting up. So there it was. Okay. So let's show the next one. So there's a possible sighting. Let me read that to you. Let me read that to you. San Bernardino County Sheriff's Department says it's aware of a reported missing sighting of the 7-month-old boy who's been missing for nearly a week. This was reported today at 9:08 a.m. So 4 hours ago, 5 hours ago, this was reported. Emmanuel Haro was reported missing last Thursday evening after his mother, Rebecca Harrow, said she was attacked and knocked out in a parking lot near the Big Five store in Yucaipa. When she regained consciousness, she told investigators her baby was gone and that he had been kidnapped. The sheriff's department said the potential sighting was reported in Kern County, but no other information was available. On Tuesday, investigators seized a vehicle belonging to the baby's father, Jake Harrow, for evidence amid the investigation. The father has been seen cooperating with law enforcement and investigators, his attorney said in a statement. So what do y'all think? Do you think that there was a possible sighting? Or do you think, what do you think? Rebecca, since Emmanuel's disappearance, the boy's parents have come under scrutiny after the sheriff's department said investigators found inconsistency in the mother's story. Rebecca was confronted with inconsistencies in her initial statement and declined to continue with the interview. The sheriff's department said in a news release Saturday, at this point in the investigation, investigators are unable to rule out foul play in the disappearance of Emmanuel. Well, that's the stupidest statement I've ever heard. And I said it at the beginning of this. He's 7 months old. He didn't get up and walk away on his own. So either he was taken by the parents or removed by somebody like she claims in the parking lot. So in either case, it's foul play. So I'm not sure why you can't rule out foul play. He didn't walk at 7 months old away. So it's obviously foul play. So I find that statement to be ridiculous. At this point, deputies have not put out a description for a potential suspect. Over the weekend, detectives also searched the parents' Cabazan home with canine units. A fire broke out on Tuesday at the house on the same block where the Harrows live. Authorities say the fire's proximity to the Harrow residence appears to be a coincidence. Is it a coincidence? Authorities are continuing their search for Emmanuel and ask anyone with information to contact Sheriff's Special Investigations Division at 909-890-4909. Y'all, do you think this fire, we're going to watch that in a minute too, is a coincidence? How many coincidences have fallen upon this family? I can't get the banners page up again. It's just so annoying. I'm gonna refresh. If I get booted out, I'll be back. Hang on. Because I gotta reload because I'm frozen. Okay. I know. It's just, this is it. It's just, I'm wondering how much they have fabricated. Okay, well, now I can't get into my banners at all. It's really frustrating that I can't get into my banners because I am trying to give full credit. StreamYard. But I can't get into my banners. There we are. I got them. I know it wasn't their house, Paula, but it was the house next door. Did they dump the baby in the house next door? Because apparently, or across the street, it was vacant. Did the police look at the house next door for evidence? Well, I got it now, honey. Thank you. Are the police looking at, maybe they hid some evidence there? Maybe it's not so random. That's all I'm saying. How many coincidences? Okay, I gonna pull up what somebody sent. Me. Okay. Somebody sent me this as a possible, and then we have a long stream tonight. I got a lot of interesting things to show you, but I just got your email, sweetie, on a potential. Is this Rebecca? Let's look at this. Is this Rebecca? This is interesting. I don't know if that looks like her. Tell me what you think. If this picture looks like her. Rebecca, was this her name before? In June 2009, bloggers claimed to be pregnant with terminally ill child exposed as hoax and baby was a doll, June 18th, 2009. A woman who wrote a blog about being pregnant with a terminally ill baby has apologized to nearly a million followers after it was exposed as a lie and her baby as a doll. Rebecca Beauchosen claims she was an unmarried mother who chose to carry her terminally ill child named April to term rather than have an abortion because of her deep Christian faith. Over 2 months, the 26-year-old captivated hundreds of thousands in the news of her progress until a few of her followers grew suspicious after the birth. She was exposed as a fraud after some readers realized baby April was actually a doll. Now, Bo Shelton from Mokin, a suburb in Chicago, is apologizing for the hoax. I mean, I don't know if it's the same girl. It doesn't necessarily look like her to me. What do you all think? Let me open this picture if I can click on the picture. I can't get it to open. What do y'all think? Oh, I'm not even showing it to you. For the love of God. Does this look like her? Well, and that's the other thing. Apparently, they've thrown out their footage in the home or something, or deleted it. There's another guy that ran after the two people that started the fire on the video. Oh my God, this case is crazy. Yeah, I know. And apparently, there's baby clothes in it. I know, sweetie. I know. It's just. I agree. I agree. He's involved in GoFundMe and fraud, in my opinion, yesterday. Wow. So I don't know if this is her either. I don't think so either. I appreciate you bringing it to my attention. I just think this is a stretch. I just think this isn't her. I think this is just a stretch. I don't want to bring in crazy stories. I'm going to wait for 5 votes total. So far, we get 2 no's. Do y'all think it's her? If anybody thinks yes, then I'll talk about it some more. But just give me your. And I do appreciate you sending me this just to look at because you never know. No, no. So anybody else? You don't know, Veronica? Does you think it's her? I don't. I don't. It doesn't mean it's not. I just don't get it's her. I wish it wasn't a side profile. You know, I wish it was a head-on profile, but I just don't think it's her. Okay, let's move on. I don't know. Nobody seems to think it's her. At least only 2 of you have commented you don't know, and 2 have said no. So we're going to stop sharing this. If it comes out again and I hear about it again, then I will absolutely show it. But look, let's get into it. I got way more videos to share. So it's just a crazy case. Crazy case. Look at this. This is sorry, y'all. I got to get prepared. I got to get prepared. Just so I don't get, dinged at all in any way. Listen to this.
This could be huge, or it could be a total nothing burger. You let me know which one you think it is down in the comments below. Now, as I have reported to you all, over the past couple of days, there have been people outside of Emmanuel's home basically 24/7. You got the mainstream news networks out there. You got like Court TV, the Law and Crime Network. You also got local media outlets outside of the home. You got YouTubers, live streamers, TikTokers, people coming up with signs that they're posting on the property. And earlier today, someone by the name of Action Eye News was out there around Emmanuel's home. And down the street from Emmanuel's home, there's a dumpster. Law enforcement was at that dumpster earlier today. Well, I guess at the time that you're watching this video, it was yesterday. But law enforcement was at that dumpster yesterday doing a little dumpster diving. And according to this guy who was there, along with Court TV camera crews, law enforcement dug through the dumpster. They collected some items, including baby clothing. Now, they didn't say anything to anyone there. We don't know who these baby clothes belong to. You know, it could be anyone's baby clothes. But considering we're dealing with a missing kids case, of course, you know, you got to look at this stuff. You got to take it in as evidence and see if it did belong to Emmanuel. I'm going to go ahead and roll this clip really quickly, though, so you guys can see what I'm talking about.
Okay, so let's talk about this for a second. Do y'all think these people are smart enough to set up the whole parking lot thing and then be dumb enough to dump the baby's clothes in the dumpster just a couple of doors down? I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, different spelling in the first name. I didn't notice that, but thank you, Paula. She could have dyed her hair in that picture. Yeah. Y'all don't think so. Yeah, I keep forgetting I've set it to delay now. Don't understand how Dad got out of this stuff. I know. This is crazy. This is crazy. And now the lawyer is kind of like gaslighting us. Yeah, we got some more videos, y'all. Stick around. I know. This is crazy, this case. There's so many possibilities. I got to do more readings on it. I got to do more readings on it. Listen to this, though.
And then I'll be right back with more thoughts.
Down here on Ramona Street right now. I'm down here with Gino with Fox 11, and then we have Court TV is here as well. We did get an update just a while ago, guys. The police came out to this location right here and searched this dumpster, found some leads, guys, and they also found some baby clothes that possibly may be linked to the missing Emmanuel. It's not confirmed yet. The police department kind of went hush-hush on the matter, so they're not releasing anything at this time. But we did have cameras that are over here on this house. We tried to go through the footage, but the lady does not remember the password, so she's not able to pull any of the information up.
There really is a camera watching you wherever you go these days, and conveniently enough, there's a camera pointing right at that dumpster. Now, maybe that lady doesn't remember the password to the footage, you know, to get the footage, or maybe she just doesn't want to hand the footage over to them. I have a feeling that if investigators or detectives show up wanting that footage, they'll figure out a way to get it, or the lady will just hand it over to them. Now, when it comes to Jake and Rebecca Emmanuel's parents, I don't think that they're like super smart criminals here, but I do think that they are aware of cameras. I think there's a reason why Rebecca chose that parking lot at the Big Five. I think she chose that spot because she thought that there were no cameras watching, even though we now know there's some security footage that shows her in that parking lot. But I think at the very least, they would be on the lookout for cameras, but in the heat of the moment, maybe not, you never know. I don't think that this case is going to be solved. I'm not saying that this case is going to be super complicated, but I do think it's going to be a little more complicated than, oh, here's all of the evidence, you know, right here down the street. Now, it could be. We see plenty of cases like that, but I'm not so sure if that's where we're headed right now. These clothes, these baby clothes that were found in that dumpster could belong to anyone, but
it's true. Although this case, I mean, look, he's probably been doing true crime longer than I have, but I am shocked we haven't seen arrest yet with everything going down in this case. I mean, maybe they want to find the baby. If we're all wrong, like, I'll eat my words and apologize publicly, but I just don't see how we're all wrong. And given, I mean, I don't know, but I can't imagine that the officers are in the backyard with canine dogs in their backyard and seemingly believing their story. I think the officers caught on pretty quickly. And so I still think there's going to be fast resolution to this, but We'll see. Maybe he's right and I'm wrong.
I guess we're just going to have to wait and see. Everything that I see right now, though, there's just a lot of evidence, some that we know of, some that we don't know of, just piling up on top of these parents right now. So I wonder if they're going to crack at some point.
You think so, Rita?
They're going to crack. And if they do, I don't think it's going to be together. It would be separately. But I think Rebecca may be scared of Jake. If what we're hearing about Jake is true, then Rebecca is probably in danger being around him, and she's scared of him. Now, I'm not trying to make her out to be a victim in this situation, because at the end of the day, she's most likely lying about what happened to her child. But, you know, I think maybe if you separated Rebecca from Jake for a while, maybe you would get the truth, but I don't know. There's also something else that happened with investigators in this case that I would like to clear up, because the other day, we know that they came out to Emmanuel's home. They were knocking on the door, and no one came to the door. Apparently, no one was home. And we never got confirmation as to why they were there, because law enforcement has visited this home multiple times. They've come, they've collected evidence, they've brought dogs, the whole 9 yards. But they came to the house at one point, and no one ever answered the door. That led to a lot of rumors that, you know, maybe Jake and Rebecca fled the country and all of that stuff that we know actually isn't true. But luckily, investigators have cleared up what happened. On August 18th, at around 12:22 p.m., deputies were dispatched to Emmanuel's home per the request of Child Protective Services. CPS asked deputies to check if the family was at the residence, but deputies were not able to contact anyone. Deputies advised CPS of their findings. So I know there was confusion surrounding some clips that were swirling around online of law enforcement showing up to the home and no one talking to them, no one coming to the door. Reporters were outside of the house recording it all. So now they cleared up what happened there. But there's so much going on in this case. I have so many updates to bring you all. I'm doing it across multiple channels. Make sure you're subscribed.
Yeah, it's crazy. This case is, well, it's like a fire hose of nonstop information. You know, it's like a fire hose of information. This is what we're going through, a fire hose of information tonight. Y'all, this is just, it's absolutely wild. It's just, I mean, it's crazy. Oh, no worries, Rita, honey, no worries. I didn't, look. Whoops. I want you to see, did you see all the lawyers' comments too? I mean, I don't know about this lawyer. I don't know about this lawyer. Okay, listen to this one. This is just an opinion.
Case of missing 7-month-old Emmanuel Haro couldn't get any more suspicious. A fire breaks out right next door to the family home. I'm hearing reports that 2 homeless people started the fire in an RV, and the house was basically collateral damage. Online sleuths following the case of Emmanuel Haro are questioning whether this was really a coincidence, or was this fire set to destroy evidence. Some are questioning whether Emmanuel was hidden around that house, and this is the reason for the fire. It just seems very odd that the house opposite the Harrow family is suddenly on fire. As far as I know, it wasn't a vacant house. Apparently it was a guy and a girl, who they are saying were homeless, started the fire and took off. A local reporter was on scene. Take a look.
All right, guys, we are back live. Sheriff Department is here. Fire Department is on their way. As you see, we caught 2 homeless guys starting as a guy and a girl started a residential fire and took off. And Sheriff's Department beat on the door. We cannot get anybody to answer the door right now, but we do have identity on the suspects. It looks like there's an RV back there as well that's on fire. It's already melting the fence. That's a good question. It looks like there is a gate down there, Debbie.
I'm trying to figure out if this is across the, like, I mean, I'm trying to figure out if this is the neighbor across the street. It looks like their neighbor to me, because they have the highway running right behind their home. So I'm not sure.
It's going to end up going into that burning the house down now.
It sure
I mean,
does.
it's already started on the house, guys. It's a house that is right next door across the street from
There. Okay, so it is right across the street. So there it is, right across the street. So I guess there's a highway on both sides of that street. So it's kitty corner diagonal. I mean, I guess it could be coincidence, but man, what a coincidence. Like,
about the missing kid. Oh, shit. Oh, it's hitting the house. Huh? All right, guys. Oh, shit. The house is going, guys.
I mean, it's just a crazy case. It's just a crazy case. What do y'all think? I'm going to come and stop for a second and talk to my peeps in the chat for a little bit before we go on to the next video, but wild. What a wild case. It's just, yeah, let me just get, it's just crazy. Thank you, honey. I don't know. I mean, maybe there's an intelligence for cameras because he got caught on a camera with his prior conviction. I mean, you know, yeah. You think? Well, we'll see if anybody else comes up with it. Yeah, I could, Rita. I could. I'll see if I have time. If I have time, I will. Please found what and some baby clothes. I don't know, Grace. We don't know. They're not talking, but they did apparently find blood in the bathroom. Yes. So whether that was the baby's blood or not, I know he's reporting. He's the one talking about the video of one of the cameras showed a car, but no one else. Yes, he's on. I have it on my to-do list. In fact, I was going to do Amy Bradley today. We are going to do that tomorrow because I have it on my to-do list to get set up on X and all that so I can do more deep diving. I've just been putting out videos if you haven't noticed, and I haven't had the time to do that yet. So I'm going to do that, Mercury, so I can do more deep diving and stuff like that across all the other platforms. I know, but it's just crazy. And now like the dumpster looks like it was just down the road from the house. I know, I know. It's just it is crazy. Yeah, we're gonna watch more footage here today. I showed one yesterday. Hidden True Crime showed the Mexican guy, and I showed that video yesterday. So as well, said it themselves. I think the baby's buried in the back of their house or a little bit in the desert. Yeah, I know. I know. Well, this is what I'm wondering, Tracy. This is what I'm wondering. It's awfully coincidental. Yeah, the case is crazy. Okay, let's watch this other video, y'all. This other video. Man, oh man, it's just trying to piece it all together.
few select things that I mentioned that kind of set everybody on a course to go after these parents and call them liars.
Well, I think anytime a parent's interview comes out, it's so easy for the public and the true crime community to automatically make parallels with the infamous Chris Watts interview. But there were some interesting things here. As you mentioned, not only were there mentions of Emmanuel in past tense, but no matter how their voice was breaking, there was not a single tear squeezed out, not by Rebecca and not by Jake. And it almost came across as performative, as though they were trying to force their voice to break and force themselves to seem sad. And what was really interesting, too, about Jake's interview is he seems very distraught and having a difficult time conveying the words. But then the moment he starts talking about Yucaipa and how they've had a past history with football there and the city, he immediately just even-keeled, total normal tone of voice, as though nothing happened. Where usually when we have seen parents who are truly distraught and grief-stricken and fearful, that tone carries through the entire interview. So it just felt a little off-putting and performative.
So talk to me a little bit about Jake's, past, his criminal record, and in particular, an ex-wife named Vanessa, who told police that she had been trying to nurse their 10-week-old baby, but that something was wrong with that baby, took that baby to the hospital, and what happened then?
So this incident happened back in October of 2018, and there's conflicting reports.
We just showed it. You must have left the live because we just showed it and talked about it. So you must have left the live, Krista or Kristen. I know. Yeah, exactly. Well, I've got a video of that next, like coming up here. I just got a bunch of videos that I've been putting aside for today, and that's one of them. We're going to watch that
What exactly
soon.
happened. Vanessa claims one version and then Jake claims another. But the gist of it is that, to your point, the baby was not nursing. Then later that evening, she asked Jake to feel the baby's back, to which when he did, according to the affidavit, this is their word, not mine, he felt a crackle. So she brought the baby to the hospital. And I want to read this directly because the officer writing the affidavit.
Okay, so this is Annalise talking on News Nation about the prior crime Jake pled guilty to, and I'm going to show it in more detail in another video, and it's really disturbing. So when we get to that, I'll warn you.
David said that the doctors at the Loma Linda University Medical Center said that the baby had, quote, acute fractured rib, healing fractures of 6 ribs, a skull fracture, a brain hemorrhage, swelling of the neck, and a healing fractured leg bone. And what's very interesting about this, too,
this was a 10-week-old baby that he pled guilty to for abusing. Let her repeat the condition of the baby.
Exactly, because the officer writing the affidavit said that the doctors at the Loma Linda University Medical Center said that the baby had, quote, acute fractured rib, healing fractures of 6 ribs, a skull fracture, a brain hemorrhage, swelling of the neck, and a healing fractured leg bone. And what's very interesting about this, too, is later when Jake returned home from the hospital, allegedly his sister had opened up his iPad and the recent browser tab, and there was a search for how to feed a baby with broken ribs, a search that took place before they even went to the hospital. Now, Jake says he wasn't the one to make that search, but that coupled with everything else in this incident, it's pretty alarming.
All right, I want to play something.
Yeah, it's very alarming. We took a vote in the crowd, Kristen, and people, most people were not everybody voted. Obviously, we only had a few people vote, but there was either not sure if it looks like her or no, it doesn't look like her. So I left it with, I'll leave it for now. If I have time, I'll look at it a little bit more. I appreciate you bringing it to me. But at this point, I'm not sure it's the same person, but I will, if I have time, look into it some more. And also, if I hear about it again, of course, look into it some more. And I do appreciate you sending that to me. I'm not sure. I'm not convinced it's her at this point.
Earlier today, a Yucaipa resident named Heather Walker, apparently she attended the vigil for Emmanuel on Sunday, and she said she spoke to some Big Five employees at that vigil. And my colleague Elizabeth Vargas spoke with Heather Walker and asked her if the employees said anything about Rebecca or the baby on the day of the kidnapping, and this is the answer.
From what they told me, nobody saw the baby.
They saw her, but not the baby, because that's what we've heard about people who were at the football game that she had been at previously. She said she had left the football game to go buy her other son a mouth guard that he needed to play. That's why she was at the store, she said. But nobody at that football game saw the baby either.
No.
That's troubling. And there's a lot of talk about Rebecca's black eye, Annie. What do you make of what's being said about she pointed, I got hit towards the side of the black eye?
Almost immediately, once that interview footage came out, people were skeptical about the black eye, saying that it looked as though it was in the various stages of healing. It wasn't a fresh black eye. And there have been some eyewitnesses out there who have said that she allegedly was spotted with this black eye as early as August 3rd. There also have been some Big Five employees on social media speaking out in addition to the behavior from the alleged day of the kidnapping, saying that Rebecca had gone to the Big Five the night before, asked the cashiers if they had.
Oh, the night before. I heard they went a week before. Kitty, I've asked everybody to stay on topic. So that includes you. So please stay on topic. We've got rules here, which includes staying on topic. So thank you for that.
Had CCTV footage of the parking lot because the week prior her car had been broken into. Now that's all alleged at this point. That's according to some of the employees, but that seems very interesting too, that possibly she was trying to suss out the situation before they had their grand master plan the following day.
Very troubling, and I'll bet you that the police have been looking into it, and they're not telling us about it, but if they have been asking those same questions, they will have those answers in the file. Annie, Elise, good to have you. Thank you so much for this.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our News Nation app right now on your phone.
Okay, let's go to the next one. Just a wild case. Look at this one, y'all. Look at this one. This is JLR Investigates. And, oh man, I wish these people would just, they would just, stop the charade.
Breaking news, police have surveillance video from a liquor store across the street from the Big Five sporting goods store. Whoa, come on in, folks. New information out. The attorney, Vincent Hughes, speaks to the media again, and he shares new information I'd like to share with all of you. We're talking about the case of Emmanuel Haro, the little 7-month-old boy who vanished sometime in the past. We just don't know a date. According to the mom, Rebecca, this little boy was kidnapped in a parking lot at the Big Five in Yucaipa, California last Thursday, a little after 7 p.m. and went on TV, the mom and the dad, Jake, and said it was a kidnapping and someone has their child. Almost everyone around the country does not believe that story. So the father retains an attorney by the name of Vincent Hughes. Believe it or not, Vincent Hughes actually is the same attorney that represented Jake Harrow from his child cruelty case. That has been revealed tonight, too. Well, he shares to the media directly across the street from the Big Five, there's this liquor store, and it's right here, Party Pantry. And police have the footage. And they saw something on this footage. I'm going to share what the attorney said about the situation, show you the map of where this liquor store is, and then we will further discuss. Check it out.
Developing tonight in the search for a missing 7-month-old. Detectives are not ruling out anyone's involvement. KCAL's Jasmine Veal spoke to the father's attorney, who was pushing back on investigators. He says the family is cooperating.
Find Emmanuel. That's what we need. That's all we're asking for.
Defense attorney Vincent Hughes is speaking on behalf of Jake Harrow, the 32-year-old father of 7-month-old Emmanuel, who has now been...
I mean, could you imagine being this guy's attorney? I understand. Well, that's interesting. Yeah, we haven't seen it yet, Marie Curie. We haven't seen the video yet, but this is the lawyer's take on it. But I just want to say, like, this guy, he's not saying so publicly because he's not allowed to, but I would love to be inside his head right now because he's defended him before. He's got to be wondering if these people are guilty. Like, he's got to be.
Missing 5 days.
Nobody is searching for a 7-month-old child. That's the big issue here.
Jake's wife, Rebecca, says someone punched her and took her baby as she was changing his diaper in a Yucaipa parking lot around 7:30 p.m. last Thursday. Hughes says since that night, San Bernardino County Sheriff Department investigators have turned their focus on the couple, including Harrow's criminal past, and accusing them of not cooperating in the investigation.
But there was a conviction for child cruelty, which Jake is not running from. He's not hiding from his record. It's publicly available information.
Records show Harrow had a 2023 conviction for willful child cruelty from a felony complaint filed in Banning in 2018 that lists him as a co-defendant with his then wife, Vanessa. Hughes represented him in that case.
There is no nexus between that case and this case here, and he should not be judged based on his past.
Hughes says he's a good father and loves his 2 children with Rebecca. Social workers did remove a 2-year-old from the couple's Cabazon home. This after they say they confronted Emmanuel's mother with inconsistencies in her account of what happened, and they have not ruled out anyone's involvement.
Well, at least the 2-year-old has been removed from the home. Thank gosh. I don't know about the other kids, but the 2-year-old has. Thank gosh.
Not one thing has been cited as an inconsistency. Law enforcement is being extremely tight-lipped about the situation.
Hughes says they are both willing to talk to detectives and have handed over their vehicles, cell phones, and passwords and allowed detectives with cadaver dogs into their home.
So they've searched the home. They've cut holes in the ground in the home. They've dug holes in the backyard. They've done everything. Nothing's been found.
Harrow's attorney says that detectives showed the couple some security video that was taken from a liquor store across the street of when Rebecca says the baby was taken from her vehicle.
Something falls, gets back up. That seems to corroborate exactly what Rebecca's story was in the beginning.
I think the surveillance.
What her story was in the beginning. That's just interesting phrasing, I guess I would say. It's an interesting
video is going to play a big
in
role.
the beginning.
Defense attorney Lou Shapiro, who is not involved in this case, says the sheriff's department is keeping all their options open by now calling this a critical
Instead of
missing child
from the
case instead of
beginning.
a kidnapping.
What's unusual though is it's very rare, especially these days, for a random person to go and snatch a child from parents. And I think that's what's troubling law enforcement here.
The department says they are even aware of a tip that the baby was spotted in Kern County, something Hughes would like them to keep investigating and hopes the public will step up to help.
Jake wants answers. Rebecca wants answers.
In San Bernardino, Jasmine Beal, KCAL News.
All right, this is Google Maps right here. I am going to show you the party pantry. This is a liquor store that is right across the street from the Big 5 sporting goods store, the spot where Rebecca claims that her son was kidnapped, Emmanuel, in the parking lot, right about here, right about this location right here. As the grandmother pointed out, they were parked right in front of the store there. Now, let's go back over across the street.
So, I mean, I don't know if these people, or maybe English is their second language, which may explain, because the lawyer even says, like, that was her story in the beginning. Like, is he admitting it that there's inconsistencies in her story, or is he trying to say, from the very beginning, was her storyline, and now we have a video substantiating that? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, there's a difference in how that comes across, but the choice of words, and I am starting to wonder, maybe there is an English language issue between them and the attorney. I'm just saying, I'm just trying to be devil's advocate here. But yeah, something falls, not like a person falls. Something falls, not a person. Like, so again, leaving that to the vagueness, right? Not, and you can see Rebecca falling in the video, something falls. So he's not her lawyer, I get that, but that's also suspicious, in my opinion. But yet my boyfriend gets slammed for sitting in a parking lot doing nothing wrong. He got a DUI. Keys weren't in ignition. Yes, Tracy, I know. I understand that. I'm just saying, it doesn't matter whether he's her lawyer or not. He's speaking to it, and I'm just talking about the language he's using. But I also said at the very beginning of this live, we're an hour and 33 minutes in, at the very beginning of the live, if you missed it, why is he defending Jake and not her? I think that's an interesting scenario. Like, right? Why would, like, are they going to go up against each other? Why would they not be represented together? Because I thought with the spousal law, that would be, like Chris, CP and KP are doing, that is a defense in its entirety. That is a defense in itself, is that somebody doesn't have to speak out against their spouse. So if I'm wrong about that, then let me know. But so the fact that he's not defending her as well also speaks volumes, does it not? I mean, Or maybe she's going to speak out against him. Maybe there's some anticipation he's going to blame her like he did with his ex in the past. I don't really know. I was just curious. Another of the many, many, many odd things in this case.
The party pantry. That's where we're at here. And this is a liquor store. And as you heard the attorney, Vincent Hughes, say that there was surveillance across the street at a liquor store. This is a liquor store here that is across the street. It's called the Party Pantry. They advertise here, liquor. You see there, liquor, liquor, party pantry, liquor, liquor. So with this location here, if you go over here to the Party Pantry, and I'll spin the camera around. So here's the Party Pantry. Here's the street, right? Ukaipa, and then boom, there it is. There it is right there. Big 5. So yeah, it looks like authorities got some sort of surveillance from across the street, the liquor store. And, you know, this is old Google Maps. I can't go in more, but it's safe to say that they actually have it probably right there in the corner there and probably have surveillance there. I don't know how old this map was. This is very interesting, though, as authorities are, you know, evaluating and looking at surveillance, you know, along the road there, the main road to get to this big 5.
I'm not sure what the court laws are, Tracy, but I trust you. You know something that I don't know. So I drew the video in up close where you just showed on her and baby Emmanuel. Look back and see if y'all think he's alive in that photo. Oh God, Rita, don't say that. Seriously? Because he does look. I mean, there is a video about the discrepancies in how the baby looks that I was going to pull up. I'm just trying to.
Party Pantry. This is a liquor store that is right across the street from the big.
He's not hiding from his.
Social workers did cell phones and passwords
Hang
go
on.
across the
Video is going to play a big role, though, is it's very.
Try to pull it up.
County. Something huge. Jasmine Veal, KCAL News.
All right, this is Google Maps right here. I am going to show you the part.
I just don't see where it's coming up close yet in this video, so I'll look at it. I'm not sure where you went back and zoomed in because I can't get it close enough in this video.
Party Pantry. This is a liquor store that is right across the street from the big 5 sporting goods store, the spot where Rebecca claims that her son was kidnapped, Emmanuel, in the parking lot, right about here, right about this location right here. As the grandmother pointed out, they were parked right in front of the store there. Now, let's go back over across the street. The Party Pantry. That's where we're at here. And this is a liquor store. And as you heard the attorney, Vincent Hughes, say that there was surveillance across the street at a liquor store. This is a liquor store here that is across the street. It's called the Party Pantry. They advertise here, liquor. You see there, liquor, liquor, Party Pantry, liquor, liquor. So with this location here, if you go over here to the Party Pantry, and I'll spin the camera around. So here's the Party Pantry. Here's the street, right? Ukaipa, and then boom, there it is. There it is right there. Big 5. So yeah, it looks like authorities got some sort of surveillance from across the street, the liquor store. And, you know, this is old Google Maps. I can't go in more, but it's safe to say that they actually have it probably right there in the corner there and probably have surveillance there. I don't know how old this map was. This is very interesting, though, as authorities are, you know, evaluating and looking at surveillance, you know, along the road there, the main road to get to this big 5. As it's being reported, big 5 itself didn't have any surveillance cameras. Dumbfounded why they wouldn't.
I know, Rita, but I don't know.
Says,
I just can't stop this video in the middle of it and go back and look for others. If you'd brought it up in the time I was looking at that video, I just can't find it right in this moment, honey. That's all I'm saying. So we can look at that in a little bit, but let me just keep going with this first, honey.
that something dropped in this surveillance from the liquor store that was detected over there that will kind of validate what she was claiming about a kidnapping. What's your take on that? What is your take on that situation there? So hopefully more surveillance gets picked up, but we have a liquor store. This is it. I was looking around to see if there was any other liquor store. I didn't see any other liquor store. I could be another liquor store, but I mean, it's safe to say that it's this liquor store here because I don't see any other liquor store here. I see like a taco shop here. Right across the street over here is like an old bank or some building. It's not even in use anymore, so I don't see that as the liquor store. Going down here a little bit past the, but see this liquor store here, let me go back here, is literally at the cameras. If the cameras at the door facing out, it does literally face out right where the location is where she claims Emmanuel was kidnapped. So it puts a lot different in perspective here. We'll continue to dig in, and every time the attorney speaks, we'll evaluate it. Let me know what you think. JLR Investigates, covering the case of Emmanuel.
Yeah, I'm gonna go, and I think I've
And I
got
posted
it.
this on my X account at JLR Investigates. Make sure you
Welcome
follow me
in.
there to get the updates on the Emmanuel Haro case. And I said, Vincent Hughes.
Welcome in. Nice to see you here. We welcome everybody. It's a great community here. Absolutely. So Rita, I will go and look for that photo after. Let's just watch this video and then I'll go look for it.
The attorney for Jake Harrow claims the parents have been cooperating with the investigation. He also says it doesn't seem law enforcement is doing anything to find this child. And this is him. This is him. And this is what he said in a news report earlier today. He spoke to the media. The attorney said his client and his wife have been cooperating with the investigation, have turned over their phones, laptops, and passports.
Thank you, hon. Thank you for that. That's very, very kind of you. Thank you. Not yet. Andrew Ford, thank you, sweetie, for that. That's wonderfully kind. Not yet, but yeah, absolutely. Don't disagree. For sure. We're just reviewing all this crazy stuff that's come up in the last few hours, 24 hours. But yeah, the grandmother's house, because she seems to be a real defendant of her, even her own son, Rebecca's brother, in jail for unaliving somebody. Absolutely, I absolutely wonder what the temperature was. I know. I worked in ophthalmology for over 25 years. In my opinion, that black eye is 10 to 14 days old. No, black eyes are more red and swollen. Yes, and we're going to show that video when I get to it. Just going down the list, I just had a bunch of videos I wanted to show today over the last few days, well, 2 days, 24 hours. This case has just gotten even crazier. If it could get crazier, it has, which is crazy. And I want to go back and show a video that I have. Yes, she did have 2 black eyes August 3rd. So we're going to go through that, and I'm going to add the video that Rita wants us, or I think a video that I didn't put here that will show and address what you're talking about, Rita. I'm just going to go find that one for next. After this.
Adding they feel the sheriff's department should be doing more. He goes on to say it doesn't seem law enforcement is doing anything to find this child. Whoa. He's saying that law enforcement isn't doing anything to find this child. Wow. He's holed up in his house with his family because they are not getting the support that they need. Whoa. What do you think there? And he also said in that news report that I just shared with you when him talking, like, he'll let his client speak to law enforcement. That's what he said. So what's going on here? Who's telling the truth? Is it the attorney or law enforcement? Law enforcement putting out saying they're doing everything to find this child. What's going on here? Let me know what you think. Or is that just a lawyer being a lawyer, right? You know, the lawyers being a lawyer. Here he is, Vincent Hughes, the attorney. And apparently he represented Jake from his child cruelty case. So Jake retained him again, or he's been his existing attorney. What do you think?
So, okay, now I found a video, Rita, that I wasn't. Hey, Kitty, thank you, honey. Oh, that's so kind of you. Thank. Not necessary, but I thank you, both of you, for that. But watch this, okay? Hang on. Hang on a second. Copy. Let me just pull this one up for Rita. I think, okay. Let's just look at this. This is Evil Exists again. They do a comparison here. Not quite what you were talking about, Rita, but enough that I think we can get a view to look at what you're talking about. So I'll pause this one.
Harrow is still missing, and this is a very hard video to make. I've been receiving lots of emails and questions about my opinion of whether I think Emmanuel was shaken and hurt. He doesn't seem to engage with the world around him in any of the later pictures. Not smiling, his eyes look a bit lethargic, and his aunt admitted to the baby having developmental delays and that he has special needs. The parents, on the other hand, continue to say that Emmanuel is a healthy baby. He likes to play with his toys, but have not released any pictures of him doing so. Going back to the father's history and what he did to his 10-week-old daughter raises even more red flags. Could Emmanuel have suffered a similar fate? I am not a medical professional, so the best I can do is show you older pictures of Emmanuel when he was born and a few months old, compared.
So they're comparing here. This is a baby picture, and you don't see that lazy eye. Look at. You don't see the lazy eye. I'm hoping to get to what you want me to look at, Rita, through this video. And it's a very good point. Like I mean, this eye, I don't know if it's the angle. I mean, it could be lazy, but it doesn't seem as pronounced
to the latest pictures
as the newer ones.
His eyes don't look squint or lethargic in these baby pictures. Here are the latest and only pictures released of baby Emmanuel. I don't know why, but I struggle to look at them. Something doesn't feel right, and I know I'm not the only one feeling that way.
That's not the picture you're talking about, eh, Rita? Ah, Veronica, truly, you guys are amazing. Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you. Rita, is that the picture you're talking about, honey? Thank you, Veronica. That's so kind, all of you. Paul, is this the same photo? Yes. Okay. So this is the one you're talking about, honey? I don't know. I can't. Let's keep watching. It's just got another 45
in the last
seconds.
picture in particular, he seems to have a blue or purple mark below his chin. I have been shown videos of
Is that the picture you're talking about?
other 7-month-olds that have shaken baby syndrome, and it's honestly too disturbing to show here, but I understand why people are concerned. The eyes look very similar to baby Emmanuel's eyes. There's no way of knowing this until they find him and investigate what is really going on. Another aspect of this case is that when my son was 7 months old,
this one? One of these? No. So you can see, like, he looks terrified on the right-hand picture, though. Like that, who takes a picture of a baby that looks terrified? He looks terrified. Oh my God, it's disheartening. Look at the picture on the right. He looks like he's terrified. Okay, I'm gonna keep looking for it. Yeah, trigger warning. Well, that's coming up soon too, honey, because boy, oh boy, I got another video that's coming up. It's just, oh, I got the wrong credit on too. You know, why did it do that? That's so weird. I just re-clicked on the same one and then it changed. So bizarre. It's just weird. It's just weird.
he was always smiling, playing with toys, playing peekaboo, engaging with siblings. We haven't seen a single video or photo of Emmanuel doing any of these things. How can there only be 4 photos released of him if he is a happy, healthy 7-month-old? Take a look at the pictures and let me know what you think. If you
I don't know. Okay, I'm gonna go and look for that one, Rita. But let's see if it comes up. Because I just don't know which picture you're talking about. Not that one. I know, honey. I have to go back all the way through all the ones we looked at. I know, I've got one. I'm coming up down the list here. I'm coming up down the list. Okay, let's watch this one now. I know, Rita, I'm gonna have to go back to it because I got a bunch of things that I planned on showing. So I'm gonna have to come back to it. Now this is a photo or a video that is also very interesting. This is also Evil Exists.
14th, 7-month-old Emmanuel Haro was reported missing from a parking lot outside the Big Five sporting goods store. The amount of inconsistencies in the mother's story is worrying, and the parents seem suspicious as hell. Jake Harrow has lawyered up, and his lawyer has spoken out yesterday, stating how Jake and Rebecca are at home, grieving for their son. Rebecca claimed that a male came up to her, attacked her in the parking lot, and she can't remember anything else. When she came to, her son was gone. She never said the black eyes were from that attack, but obviously it can be assumed because she never gave any other reason for those black eyes. Naturally, it seems she was using those black eyes to prove that she really was attacked. Well,
Did she say that those black eyes were from the attack, or did we extrapolate that? I don't remember her saying it. I thought we assumed as the YouTube community. Am I wrong? Okay, Rita. Well, I'll go back in a little bit once I'm done this because I'm going to have to go through searching them all. And I don't want to disrupt the stream right now. So I will go back if you're just patient enough. Then I don't recall her saying that either, honey. I don't. I don't
now have
either.
proof that the black eyes were there long before Emmanuel was reported missing. We
Thanks,
still
Kitty.
don't know exactly when he actually went missing. I suspect it was way before he was reported missing to police. They had the time to concoct his story. The content creator called on the Tira shared a video of Rebecca Harrow at a funeral on August 5th. It seems that she already had black eyes on this day too, that was covered in makeup. Emmanuel wasn't
Look at
seen
that.
with Rebecca on the day.
Look at this. Look at this. So we're going to get into this footage, this video from her. Look at this, August 3rd. Looks like she's got makeup on, but this is the opposite eye, and it's more bruised than the one in the photo of her interviews.
Day of the funeral too,
Keep
and her
watching.
little daughter was with her. Take a look.
Watch this, y'all.
Appreciate you guys. I love each and every one of you, and Charlie loved each and every one of you. I will reach out to everybody, and I will announce another celebration of life that we will have for him.
So this is Rebecca at the funeral, August 5th. Okay, this is, from what I understand, Jake's brother's funeral. And Jake's not there, and they're asking her where the baby is, and she has two black eyes, y'all. Two black eyes. Emmanuel is nowhere around, and she has a black eye covered with makeup. Well, she has two black eyes covered with makeup. August 5th.
We had so much fun together. Yeah. Where's your baby? Oh, there. He's like, I want one.
Where's your baby? Where's your baby?
It's November when he was born. Yeah, he's fucking 3. He's gonna be 4. Look at mommy got. No, it was hanging over the chair. Lele will eat a quesadilla. Oh, RJ, say hi.
Honey, you're Auntie Becky.
Say hi.
You're so handsome.
You don't have it, buddy? We'll find it. He said, no, I'm not saying hi. That's Archie.
There she is. Look at, even from this distance, this is her left eye. I can see a bruise from this distance. On her interviews, it's her right eye, our left if we're looking at her. In this clip, I can see at a distance from here. On the opposite eye, there's some browning, there's some shadowing in there.
I'm gonna go inside, I'm burning out. It was hanging over the chair. Who was sitting in front of us? Mom, maybe. Did I smoke? I am not to say you might
I mean, and why is Jake not at his own brother's funeral or celebration of life without Emmanuel? It's very strange.
I'll get you one. Who made those bandages?
Oh, Rebecca's nephew's funeral. Okay, thank you. Thank you. Well, that makes sense. That makes sense. Thank you. No way.
I'm gonna be wearing this shit to the bar. Match.
No way.
Watch for the spotty. Thank you.
Lots of funerals going on in this family. And this is a clip.
On August 14th,
Hang on.
7-month-old.
Let's go back. There's her. Hold on. Just trying to show the two eyes. Look at that. Look at that. October, August 3rd. August 3rd. The one we see with her in the interviews is the one behind my head here. Okay. That's this eye. This one's even darker. Coupled with what one of our subscribers in the chat just said, this looks like her eye in her interview looks like it's a 10 to 14 day old bruise. And so look. So the question is, was this from abuse from him prior to the disappearance of baby Emmanuel? I didn't hear her say that the bruising. I thought Riel assumed. I thought she said she got hit in the back of the head. Well, I thought he had an. Was it not him that had the overdose? In the cause where they are living, his name is Hector Harrow. In the cause where they are living, what does that mean? In the house? Well, I heard there was an overdose, right? Was that not the same thing? I didn't hear her giggling, but I mean, I don't know what was said. So, I mean, house instead of case. In their house? No way. Wild. Well, did I pull the drug card in my reading? I can't even remember now. But this is Rebecca is at the funeral, and Emmanuel is nowhere around, and she has a black eye covered with makeup. And at the very end, the clip is, I attended a funeral August 5th, just reading it to you, that Rebecca also attended and have footage of her from that day. She did not have Emmanuel with her, but did have her little daughter. So she did not have the baby, which is why you hear, where's the baby? And she had two black eyes. Mike said she had to be hit from the front. OD also interesting. Interesting. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Okay, we got some more videos, y'all. This is we got some more videos. This one's longer. It's going to be a little bit. This is get your viewer discretion. Viewer discretion, beware. Viewer discretion, beware. This is very disturbing. This video is beyond disturbing. This gentleman is a current detective, and he starts investigating and digging up
So
the
what time is it? 3:16.
the first case that Jake has pled guilty to. And yes, it's a big trigger warning. We're gonna watch all of it. It's 36 minutes, and then I have a few more clips. We're not done, y'all. We're not done yet today.
a.m. Eastern time. I just got home from work and I had to come and share this with you guys because so much has been happening tonight in this case of the missing child, Emmanuel Haro. A lot has happened. And we're
Yeah.
going to have a live tomorrow where we're going to discuss some of these things. We're going to go through it. I have all the confidence in the world that we're going to definitely give you a very probative show tomorrow as we go through some of the things that have developed in the last few hours. I can't even say 24 hours, like in the last 4 to 5 hours, so much has happened.
Yes, exactly.
But I had to come on, instead of being in bed right now, getting rest after working an entire shift, I had to come on and share with you a truth, a horrible truth.
Sad.
A truth that personifies how much our system failed Emmanuel Haro. I have been searching for evidence of what exactly Jake Harris did to his 10-week-old daughter. And finally, that evidence has been posted on the internet for all of our consumption. And I want to share that with you guys.
Hey, y'all, this this one is not even like, I'm just warning y'all. I can't with this man. I can't. I just think he is a monster who should be behind bars. It's just
First, I have to tell you
unbelievable.
it's a trigger warning, what you're going to see. Then I'm going to tell you the only reason why I'm showing you it on my platform is because I believe, I have not been told this, but I believe the fact that it's out there, that those pictures were given to a Facebook creator and an interview was given to that Facebook creator, that the family of these children want these photos out there. I think they want us all to see the monster that Jake Harrow is. I had somebody in the chat debate me. They tried to come at me on a spiritual level. They said, Strategic, I think you're a Christian. I do talk about God often on this channel. Sometimes I talk about good and evil. These are things that I've experienced in my life. And they said, well, how can you be a Christian if you're always saying that these folks should get capital punishment? Only God can decide who lives and who dies. I don't have the answers. All I know is that we have free will on this planet, and action should have consequences. And what we're about to see is the price that was paid for Jake's actions.
Yeah, and law needs to be changed. Absolutely. And bear in mind, I just discovered his channel recently. I love it. And he is an active detective, an active detective. And so if he's saying what he's saying, like, yeah, the laws need to change. And I actually don't agree. I disagree with him. In fact, I was going to put a post up, a survey up the other day, like how many people would vote for capital punishment for any parent who hurts their child again? It should be death penalty for any parent who hurts their child, because this is getting rampant. Take your child, drop them off to the police station, the fire station, go to the hospital and say, I am not well enough to care for my child, and please find them a home. For the love of God. Like, y'all, I don't get it. So I'm kind of in the same mindset right now. I think death penalty for any you effers out there who hurt your child, be warned. Like, I think that's well within the deserving punishment. What do you all think? Am I going nuts? What do y'all think? So I am sorry to hear that he, as a detective, thinks the same way, because he must see enough of it. He must see enough of it to think that this needs to be a harsh resolution to this problem. I don't know.
A life has been stolen away. His daughter is a vegetable. She will never get married. She'll never graduate high school. She'll never smile, ladies and gentlemen, because of the actions of Jake Harris.
That's disgusting.
Now, before we get started, guys, I want to address one more thing, which we're going to talk about tomorrow.
Man, oh
This is going to
man.
be a quick live because I'm already crashing.
Is there the death penalty in that state? Because man, I hope he gets it. I hope he gets it after this, man. If he is the one responsible for not, we know he's the one, he pled guilty for this, what we're about to witness in his other child, the 10-week-old at the time, who has brain damage now. Like, it's just, I can't. And if he's responsible for Emmanuel, death penalty, for the love of God, please tell me that there's a death penalty. Is there a death penalty in California? I don't know. Is the death penalty in California? Tell me.
Falling asleep. I feel my body shutting down because I'm tired. Been working all day. It's 3:20 in the morning Eastern time. I'm old. I don't stay up this late. I come home from work, get home around 2:30, and I go straight to bed after taking a shower. There was a fire today down in the community that the Harrises live in. We're going to look at the video from the amateur reporter who actually got the arsonist on camera. We're going to talk about this tomorrow.
Okay, so according to Google, capital punishment is a legal penalty in the United States, state of California. However, the penalty is not allowed to be carried out in the state due to a standing 2006 federal court order against the practice, and in 2019 moratorium on executions ordered by Governor Gavin Newsom. So not in Cali. Well, maybe Gavin Newsom needs to reevaluate.
But I just want you to go to bed knowing, because some of you guys are on the Eastern time. You in bedtime with me. Some of you guys, you're getting close to your bedtime. I want you to understand this when you go to bed, that I don't believe in coincidences. I hope that the local law enforcement down there thoroughly investigate that motorhome that was set on fire, that ended up setting two actual houses on fire.
I just have to let you know, I've not listened to his stream, so I'm just listening to this with you for the first time. Welcome in, Jeanette. Welcome in, sweetie. Welcome in from the UK. Yeah, I get it. Yeah, exactly. And this guy's a cop, and he's a detective, and he says the same thing I just said to you, and I haven't heard this. That fire is not a coincidence. Was there evidence in that home that just got burnt down because it was vacant? Did they plant evidence that they're now burning? I don't know. He doesn't think it's a coincidence, and he's an active detective.
I hope those homeless people understand that they're facing 15 years in prison for the property damage that they caused in the arsonist. But I don't believe in coincidences. I also don't know the culture down there. I don't know the local politics. I don't know how well the Harrises know the people who live in the building. I mean, in the house next door with the mobile home that was just randomly set on fire. I don't know. I don't know. What I do know is that that would be a great place to hide a body. What I also know is that police, without probable cause and a search warrant, can't just go on that person's property and start searching their motor home.
Well, if it's empty.
I know that the police have searched the Harris's home.
Apparently, it's a vacant house and a vacant mobile home, and nobody's living in it.
Up and down, front and center, left or right, they've searched every crevice of that property. But they ain't searched next door. What a coincidence that a motorhome,
no kidding,
is set on fire by two homeless people that casually stroll away. And nobody who was out there who was interviewed, from what I could tell, said, hey, those homeless people were squatting in that motorhome, or there was a dispute over kicking them off the property or whatever. Heard nothing of it. Motorhome on property, and mind you, this is a poor community. I'm not saying they can't own a motorhome or have one, but my imagination, and my friends tell me I got a big imagination. My imagination tell me most likely maybe that was a derelict motorhome. Could that be a place that you would hide a body? And if you did hide a body there, how much would it set you back in a very poor community to get a hold of two vagrant, drug-addicted individuals and say, hey, I'll give you X, Y, and Z if you set that motorhome on fire? Listen, this is just my opinion. I have no evidence of this whatsoever. I'm just telling you my theory. That's all it is a theory. I could be totally wrong.
But he's an active detective. I want you to keep that in mind, y'all. Yes, sweetie. Yes, sweetie. Hang on. True crime with strategic eyes. And I love this guy. I just found him. Hang on, I'm trying to multitask here. And he's an active detective. So, you know, and don't forget to, I'm going to go back to, you're welcome. I'm going to go back, Rita, if you're still here, and go back through those photos. Don't let me forget. I just want to do that at the end because I have a long list of videos to get through. Then we're going to go back and see, because Rita thinks that the picture of him, of the baby, one of the pictures, maybe he's actually not even alive in, which would be crazy creepy. But you know, nothing would surprise me anymore. As much as I say that, I still get surprised. Like this case. This case is dumbfounding.
I told you guys it's going to be a quick live because I do have to get to bed. So we're going to jump into this, guys. So what did Jake do? Well, let's read about it. According to an affidavit written by Hemet police officer to obtain an arrest warrant, officers investigated a report that a 10-week-old girl had been admitted to Hemet Valley Hospital on October 13, 2018 for treatment of broken bones. So now we read all this. We're going to skip down to what he actually did to the baby.
Trigger warning. Trigger warning.
Doctors at Loma Linda University Medical Center told the officer who wrote the affidavit that the baby had an acute fractured rib. healing fractures of 6 ribs,
Pictures
a
coming up.
skull fracture, a brain hemorrhage, swelling of the neck, and a healing fractured leg bone. The combination of the above findings in a pre-mobile
Gonna repeat that.
doctors at Loma Linda University Medical Center told the officer who wrote the affidavit that the baby had an acute fractured rib, healing fractures of 6 ribs, a skull fracture, a brain hemorrhage, swelling of the neck, and a healing fractured leg bone.
Okay, that's a 10-week-old baby. And what you need to understand is there were healing fractures and recent fractures. So at the time, there was already other broken bones that were now healing. So this had to be the second, at a minimum, abuse, right? You're getting that? Some were healing and were advanced of the other ones. Okay, glad you're here, honey. 10-week-old baby, and this would have been at least the second, at a minimum, second time that she saw abuse from him. I mean, man, that man deserves death penalty. It's very unfortunate that there is no death penalty in California, because I'd be all over this one. Hands effing down all day long. All day
The
long.
combination of the above findings in a pre-mobile infant in the absence of a plausible history of significant trauma to explain the injuries is indicative of abuse, head trauma,
You're welcome,
child
honey.
physical abuse, and nutritional neglect, the officer wrote, quoting the doctor. This is not the officer's words, it's the doctor's words. What is the outcome of what we just read? And this is the outcome. This is
Buckle
what
up,
happens
everybody.
when you allow
Buckle
a
up.
monster to procreate.
Yeah.
The first child that they had, this monster, Jake, and his first wife, Vanessa. Oh, let me not say first wife. I don't know which wife it is, because these people seem to love to marry. And if you marry so much, I don't think you understand what love is. Love shouldn't be
I
so
know.
willy-nilly that you can have 3 and 4 or 5
I
different
know.
wives. It should be a once in a lifetime thing, but sometimes
Yeah.
it doesn't work out. Maybe a twice in a lifetime thing. The first child they had fetal alcohol syndrome. We're going to read this, but I'm just telling you off the top of it. Don't bring you up to speed. The first child they had fetal alcohol syndrome. The second child they had was this beautiful girl.
First child, fetal alcohol syndrome. That's the first baby. Now we have the second baby, 10 weeks old. Look at it. We're going to see some pictures. This guy, you know, I'm not about like witch hunting, but if ever this guy deserved karma, it's, yeah, this guy, like, man, oh man, it's just.
Her name was Carolina. They changed her name since.
They
Carolina,
changed her
even though
name.
her mother was an alcoholic, Vanessa was an alcoholic allegedly, was born healthy, 100% healthy, the cutest little baby on the planet, until her father beat her and put her in this position.
Oh my God.
This is
guys.
Carolina in the hospital after Jake was done with her. It's Carolina out of the hospital with a neck brace on. We should never see a child looking like this. It's Carolina. That's what Jake did. That's what her father, her biological father, did. And this is the rest of her life. This is a more recent picture of this little girl. This is the rest of her life. She has 3% of her brain activity. Now, I want you to see something. We're going to put our detective hats on. Tell me what you see.
Oh my God.
Do you see similarities in the eye? They said that this little boy had a lazy eye.
Yes. Yes, exactly. And that's why, somebody said to me, oh, his lawyer did horrible for him. He only had to serve 180 days. He was convicted to 180 days in jail and didn't serve them. I think his lawyer did too well for him, in my opinion. Yeah, I understand everybody has the right. Well, this is it. Everybody has the right to a defense, but there's an exception. And I couldn't do it. I can tell you right now I couldn't do it. My dad actually started his law career, and his first case was criminal. And the guy was admitted to drowning his wife. And my dad got him off, and then he hung himself in jail. And he had to go to the Supreme Court of Justice. They only got him off because they didn't get the valid search warrant, but he then committed suicide in jail because I guess the guilt. It was all over a life insurance policy. And my dad said he knows as a lawyer, obviously everybody has the rights to defend somebody. And my dad said that one and only case, his first case, was enough to keep him out of doing criminal law. Like and that's how I would be. I know they have a right to defense, but man, I'd be on the prosecution side all effing day long. When it comes to this shit, but listen to what he says about the lazy eye. I know. It's just we need to do better. Like, I don't know how many times I can say this, and I don't know how we can do better other than raising awareness and doing what we're doing now and talking about it. And as voters, talking to lawmakers and politicians and, oh, it's just horrific. My stomach is like upset. Listen, we still have 25 minutes to go through this video, so let's get listening. But because he wants to compare this lazy eye thing, and he's a criminal, he's a detective. I don't know if it's criminal, but he's a detective. So I mean, obviously criminal, but whether it's in this kind of capacity or internet criminal, like, I don't really know. But clearly, he's a detective. He's experienced enough to have an opinion. So let's keep listening.
Tell me what you see.
Is
Do you
this the
see similarities
photo?
in the eye? They said that
Okay, Rita.
this little boy had a lazy eye.
Well, that's why I was trying to also starting to be patient, because with you wanting me to be patient with me, because I'm thinking clearly we can find it, or will find it in the next video with all the ones I had planned today. So let me just go in there and take a snapshot of this. So Rita, do you think he's already deceased? Is that what you're saying in this photo? Is that what you're saying? Well, yeah. His lips are pink. I think he's alive, Rita, but I do see what you're saying, and I think that's the point that, yeah, I think that's the point exactly. I think that is the point, Rita, and that's what he's about to make. Has he suffered enough beating that he was already brain dead too? That's what I'm wondering. Is he already suffered at 7 months old so many beatings that he was already brain dead too? So let's listen in.
I want to get back to this picture. I thought we had one with her eyes open
I know.
before she was assaulted. But look at her eye. Look at her eyes after her father caused a TBI. And look at her brother.
Mm-hmm.
I have another theory for you. First of all, it's 3:30 in the morning Eastern time, way past my bedtime. And we have 513 people watching this live stream right now, which is amazing. I'm definitely honored that you guys are joining me. The only thing I'm going to ask from you is that you please hit that like button. Support the channel so we can get into the algorithm.
Mm-hmm.
I have another theory for you, ladies and gentlemen.
It
I
could be,
believe,
Rita, but I don't
due to the
think so.
failure of the California Child Protective Services, and listen, I said that California failed this child, Emmanuel.
Okay,
And some
thank you.
numbskull got political with me and said, oh, you sound
I mean, there could be a genetic predisposition for this in the family lineage, right? for sure. But you made the photo bigger. Okay, can you email it to me? Yeah, I know it is. I know it's really crazy.
Very MAGA or something. What does politics have to? Because I said California failed this child. Somebody is putting political beliefs on me. I also said that Florida failed Madeline Soto by giving Stephen Stearns life in prison without the possibility of parole instead of
Thank
giving
you,
him the
hon.
death penalty for what he did to Madeline Soto. Why are we talking politics? Some of you people are sick. Some of you really are sick. Because of the inability of
Oh
California's
God.
Child Protective Services to stop this man from having children. He got a second chance, ladies and gentlemen. He got a second chance. Now, this is my theory. A second chance to hurt, to maim, to kill. This is my theory. This guy hurts children. He can't help himself. It's like a thief. They have to steal. I'm not sure that baby Emmanuel passed away. And yes, I do believe that baby Emmanuel passed away. So I will talk about him. Unfortunately, it brings me no pleasure in doing that. But I will talk about him at times in the past tense because I do not believe that he's still with us. I don't believe he's still with us. I'm a practical person that lives in reality. It comes with the job. You got to live in reality when you're a detective. You got to accept reality. You got to accept the ugly in this world. I don't believe he's still with us. I'm not sure that there was any one thing that caused the ending of baby Emmanuel, which resulted in them having to get rid of the body. I'm not sure about that. Since we have pictures of baby Emmanuel looking like a totally normal child, I'm going to go ahead and bring those pictures up for you right now. I want you to see those pictures. Totally normal child. This is probably even better picture. Look at this one. Look at baby Emmanuel laying down, smiling, eyes look straight. Eyes look perfectly normal, not cockeyed, not cross-eyed, not lazy. He's smiling. He's moving his limbs. Look at him in that picture, brand new, doing exactly what a baby's supposed to do. Look at him in this picture a
Yes,
little bit later.
absolutely, y'all. There's a difference. There is a distinct difference. I mean, zoom in if you need to, because I'm zoomed in. Uh, there's a difference. I believe what he's saying. I do believe, I believe. Oh, no way. It could be. I mean, VKW, I get what you're saying. It could be. It's just given his father's prior history and the 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 fact that it's not just the eye, it's his whole body is not in movement. Like his whole body seems limp. You know, that to me, it seems like is possibly more than just lazy eye. I'm not an expert. You probably know more than me, but it does look like possibly more than lazy eye because the other one he's moving his arm like he's very we don't have a lot of pictures of him, but it does seem like yeah, he's slow. How did he get that way? I don't
My
know.
theory, like strategic. Where's your theory, strategic? Tell us the darn theory already. I think that they've been abusing the child over a course of conduct. They've been abusing this child for weeks and possibly for months. And just like that abuse came to a head with Carolina, where finally they were like, yo, we got to turn him in. We got to bring this baby to the hospital while she's going to pass away because we got crackles when we touch her. Her ribs are crackling when we touch her. That's what they said. It's not my words. I'm not sensationalizing this. These are their words. Crackles. Let me read it for you if you don't believe me. That night, Vanessa woke up Jake and asked him to feel the baby's back. He felt something crackle, the affidavit said. Jake told the investigator that he did not feel the crackle after bathing the infant. That's Jake's word. He characterized her bones as crackling to his touch. I think because of the level of trouble that they got in the first time they reported a child on the brink, I think when this child was on the brink, they decided to get rid of him. I think that he passed away due to a cumulative abuse that has been inflicted upon him since the very beginning of his life. That's why we see
Oh
the
my
slow
God.
descent from this vibrant, beautiful little boy to this very downtrodden, defeated, beautiful little boy, because his beauty never fades. No matter what Jake and Rebecca did to him, it will never diminish his light. It will never diminish his light. So he went from a beautiful, vibrant little boy to a beautiful, downtrodden little boy trying to survive the fact that he was birthed to two demons, in my opinion. Okay, so I could talk for 1,000 years, but I told you guys I got to do a quick live. So let me bring this back up and let me read what Abby Blabby, True Crime and News, who broke this. Big shout out to her. All credit goes to her. Let's read what she has to report on these pictures that, to me, are game changers in this case, because it shows us what Jake is capable of, and it follows the pattern. This is his MO. We cannot ignore it. This is Jake Harrow's MO. We can't ignore it. And that is why the gauntlet is closing in on him and Rebecca via the local police department. They are the suspects. We're also hearing that Emmanuel's clothing was found in a dumpster. We're going to talk about that tomorrow too. That's why I don't want to go too crazy on this one, because this is a short live. Emmanuel's clothing was found in a dumpster. Number one, how many parents is in the room? We don't throw kids' clothing away. We donate it. I think that's like the only socially acceptable thing to do with baby clothing. You don't throw it away. And if the police found one bib or one onesie in the garbage, it's evidence, but it wouldn't be much of a big deal, especially if the onesie was dirty or stained or whatever. But apparently they found clothing, multiple items of clothing in the dumpster that belonged to Emmanuel. Why would they do that for, unless they wanted to just get rid of the very memory of Emmanuel? Unless his clothing was treated like trash, which is the same way they treated him. Don't ever forget, ladies and gentlemen, we watched a mother and a father stand up before cameras asking and pleading for the return of their baby, and not one tear was shed. The most we got was the worst acting job of hyperventilation you've ever seen in your life. That's all you saw. Not one tear. These people did not value this boy. This boy was not developmentally challenged or delayed. This was a normal, healthy boy. That's what they said the doctors said. So what changed? What made him not normal and healthy anymore? What made him developmentally delayed? What changed? Well, I got an older crowd that follows me. I love it. There's going to be some young people in here, but for the most part, we're all old. We're in our 30s and 40s. We're dinosaurs. And 50s and 60s, some of us.
Yep.
I'm a dinosaur, you're a
Here.
fossil. You guys remember our math? Not the new math, that Common Core stuff that the kids are taking right now. I'm talking about our math, when math was actually math that you could understand, math that made sense, math that
You
put people on the
think
moon,
so too, Jeanette?
math that gave us computers and the internet, math that gave us microwaves, not that new math that they're doing.
Well, that's what Rita. Rita, did you send me that picture? I'm gonna go look now. I haven't got it yet, but Rita thinks he's not alive in this picture. I don't know why they would take a picture of him not alive. Is this their proof of life? Is that what you're suggesting? Their proof of life photo? I wish we had a timestamp on this one.
Our math. Let's go back to math class. Our math class. What's the lowest common denominator in this whole story? What is the lowest common denominator in this whole story? Is it not Jake Harrow? All these abused, wounded, maimed, and eventually deceased babies. Who is the only common person that weaves in that thread? Is it not Jake Harrow? All right, let's keep going. Because like I said, man, once I get on my soapbox, it's hard to get me off. All right. Big shout out to Abby Blabby, True Crime and News. She says on October 18, 2018, Jake Harrow and Vanessa Avina's 10-week-old daughter was admitted to Hemet Valley Hospital after she was severely beaten. She barely survived. I was contacted by Avina's cousin, who adopted her and has taken care of her every day since the brutal attack. And I'd love to speak to that cousin. I'm not much of a Facebooker. We do have a Facebook presence, but it's really just to promote the show and get tips. But if you'd like to talk to me and come on my platform, I would love to give you my platform. I'd love to talk to you. I'd love to talk about your journey with these children. It's not even just about this case. I want to hear about you, because you are a hero to me, that you took on these children and gave them a safe home. You took them away from these demons they called their parents. Anyway, let's keep going. I was contacted by Venus' cousin who adopted her and has taken care of her every day since the brutal attack. Promise Faith, formerly Carolina Rose. So Promise Faith is her new name. Formerly Carolina Rose turned 7 on July 31st. Happy belated birthday, you beautiful angel. As a result of what was done to Promise, she has to breathe using a tracheostomy. I can't pronounce it. I apologize. I think I'm a smart guy, but you can't be smart with everything, right? Tracheostomy, it sounds like is what it is. Tube, needing frequent suction so she doesn't suffocate on her own mucus. Think about the amount of work that these cousins, who are now basically parents, have to do to maintain this young girl, because just her own mucus could be her ending if it's not properly maintained and she's not properly taken care of. Let's keep going. She is blind. She is blind. She cannot walk. She cannot talk. She only has 3% of brain function left and is 100% dependent on all.
I mean, just this alone, I don't know why he's not in jail. Like, I can't. I can't understand this. I just don't get it.
Her cares. In addition to adopting their daughter, the cousin and her husband also adopted Jake and Vanessa's son, Carlos, formerly Jake Michelle Harrow II. He gave him his name and couldn't even treat him good. Carlos, who was 8 years old, was born with fetal alcohol syndrome. How do you throw back a six-pack or some vodka when you know you have a precious baby angel growing inside of you? I don't know. Some people just built different. Some of you are just different.
Well, that's also extremely interesting because alcohol came out in the reading I did. I'm pretty sure alcohol came out. Oh, I know. It's unbelievable.
And I don't care to understand you. It's just irresponsible. I don't know. Let's keep going.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Vanessa received numerous DUIs while pregnant with Promise, but miraculously, she was born healthy. God gave her a chance, man, and she threw it away. I'm talking about Vanessa. Drank all through the pregnancy, got arrested multiple times for drinking and driving, which means that she was drinking irresponsibly. She was getting drunk. She's putting too much alcohol in her blood system, which was being fed to the baby. But God made that baby persevere just for her to be birthed into a household where Jake and Vanessa, who were both convicted of abusing this child, would end up taking her future away. Let's keep going. I'm sorry I keep interjecting, but this is too emotional. Let's keep going. Vanessa received numerous DUIs while pregnant with Promise, but miraculously, she was born healthy. All of her ailments began after she was beaten and abused, ladies and gentlemen. Guys, we have almost 1,000 people who are watching this live stream at 3:43 in the morning. Can we get some more likes? We do appreciate it. You might be tired like me, so you might be a little too tired to hit that like button, but we're asking for you to show that love. Hit that like button. After hearing the details of what he did to his daughter, I'm convinced more than ever that baby Emmanuel was never kidnapped and that Jake and Rebecca Harrow know exactly where he is and what happened. And I want to add that I think the cousin and her husband are amazing, wonderful people. That's what Abby Blabby said. And one thing I can agree with Abby, I agree with everything she said, but I agree with her that the baby wasn't kidnapped and that Jake and Rebecca know exactly where he is and what happened. And I will add my own 2 cents and say that they killed that baby. The baby's no longer with us. So now let's watch those pictures. We'll look at the pictures in their entirety, and then we'll call it a day.
It could be
working all day. So this is her in the hospital during the incident. After she was brought to the hospital by her parents, Jake and Vanessa.
Trigger warning.
And it was discovered that they viciously abused this child. And I really don't even think that Vanessa did it. I think it was basically Jake. And I will tell you 2 more things. We'll talk about it tomorrow as well. But Jake is all about himself. Because when this happened, Jake lawyered up with the same lawyer that he has now. This lawyer has helped him in all of his criminal cases that we know of. And Jake turned against his ex-wife at the time that was his current wife, Vanessa. And he said that Vanessa was the one who did it. He didn't do it. And now Jake told his wife, his current wife, Rebecca, stop talking to the cops. Don't take a lie detector test till we get a lawyer. It's my understanding that the lawyer that he got, which is the same lawyer he had in his previous cases, is only his lawyer. That lawyer is not representing Rebecca. How much you want to bet that he's going to start trying to flip and say that Rebecca was the one who hurt the baby?
Bingo. That's what I said earlier.
Unbelievable, ladies and gentlemen. Let's keep going. And that lawyer is giving interviews and he's saying, oh, my client is 100% cooperative. I have made my client available to the police. They haven't taken up on an offer, but I've made my client available to the police. I can't speak for Rebecca. I don't know what's going on with her, But I know my client is cooperative, and I've made him available to the police. So when people say that they're not cooperating, that is not true. What about Rebecca? The same thing that Jake did to Vanessa is the same thing he's trying to do now to Rebecca. He's going to leave her hanging out there to dry. He's going to blame this whole debacle on Rebecca. Maybe she deserves the blame. Maybe. I don't know. We don't know what happened. But based off of history, who is the common denominator, ladies and gentlemen? Is the common denominator in this trail of tears of abused, maimed, and possibly murdered children? Is it not Jake Harrow? Let's keep going. More pictures of this beautiful little girl who had her life and her future stolen away by her own father. It breaks my heart. 4 years and 10 days later, our adoption is finalized. Look at these beautiful people who have taken on these beautiful children. Good for them. Look at her. Look at her. She's smiling. Look at her. Her little teeth coming in. Yeah. I do believe in miracles. Maybe one day we'll get a miracle with that beautiful angel. Maybe one day.
I mean, that is just the sickest picture I've seen. Like, I can't. So, oh, y'all, we still have more videos, everybody. We have more videos. This case is just something else. Something else. Okay, I'm just gonna try to pull up. Oh, no, I did have the right one up. Sorry, everybody. Hang on. Okay, listen to this. This one's yeah, I love him too, Veronica. This is just, yeah, oh, I got the wrong one up. I'm sorry. I got the wrong one up. Oh, for the love of God, I keep getting the wrong one. I think I already showed this one. Sorry, everybody. Thanks for being patient. It was very organized. It just my first sort of, because I went out of order, and now I'm a little. Come on. Okay. Here we are. Here we are. Watch this. This lawyer, I mean, thanks, sweetie. I know this lawyer is doing his job, but listen to this. Ian Ashley's like, this dude is, you could just tell. I watch enough Ashley Banfield. I absolutely love Ashley Banfield. I know a lot of people don't. I really love her and Brian Enton. And, you know, this one is, I just don't like this lawyer. I don't like him. He gives me creepy lawyer vibes. Sorry, I know he has a job to do. I just don't like him.
Vincent Hughes, he's an attorney who has represented Jake Harrow in past cases and is speaking on Jake's behalf today. Hey, Vincent, thank you for doing this today. Big question. Why have Rebecca and Jake stopped cooperating with the police if they're desperate to find the baby and the police are looking for the baby?
I don't know where the statement that they stopped cooperating came from, Ashley. I spoke to the detectives yesterday, offered for Jake to continue to
I
speak with them.
understand, Rita.
I've not
I
been made aware of
understand.
any
Thank
request today
you.
to speak with Jake. I don't represent Rebecca. That needs to be very clear. But I have not been asked to produce Jake. I offered to produce Jake. They voluntarily turned over all of their electronic devices including the passwords. I think that's something that's huge that nobody has been made aware of.
Let me just stop you for 1 second. I don't want to interrupt you, but you just said you don't know where the statement came from, Mr. Hughes. I'm going to read you the statement the police sent to us. Investigators interviewed multiple individuals, including Emmanuel's parents, Jake and Rebecca Harrow. During those interviews, Rebecca was confronted with inconsistencies in her initial statement and declined to continue with the interview. So the statement came from the police themselves.
And I can't speak to the statement that was sent to you. I can tell you, I have personal knowledge. I reached out to the assigned detective and made Jake available. Jake wants to cooperate. Jake doesn't like the fact that nobody's listening. Court of public opinion is already out. Even yourself, it sounds like
yes, it sure is.
Jake has voluntarily provided the electronic devices that there was a search warrant for, including the passwords. The vehicle that you were saying is breaking news that you brought up at the beginning of this broadcast is not something that is new. They haven't had their vehicle since Thursday night when this alleged kidnapping happened. So it's not new that you're saying at the beginning of this broadcast that it's new information that the vehicle is gone and make it sound like they just took the vehicle today. The vehicle's been gone since Thursday.
Yeah, I haven't made my mind up.
Look at the lawyer sounds so defensive, which is fine. This is totally fine. But I said it. I think this lawyer, I don't like his vibe. I don't like his vibe. I said it before, like he's got to be sitting there going, surely this is a pattern in my clients, and he has to be, do his job anyways and his right to be defended. But how do you get up here and get so defensive? Like in the background, you got to know your client looks like a piece of, what? Like I just don't get the offensive attitude and the defensiveness rather with Ashley. Like he's personalizing this, like it's attacks against him. Is there something about this lawyer and his relationship with Jake we don't know? Because it seems like they might be friends. Just saying, just in my opinion.
But I will say this is a case that is definitely different than most missing children cases I cover, and I've done this for 38 years. When the police send me
This is
out a
News
statement
Nation
saying that foul play is potentially afoot, and when we get reports that they brought cadaver dogs to the house and that the parents aren't cooperating, then yeah, spidey senses go up. I was actually very concerned when Rebecca referred to Emmanuel in past tense as well. Are you aware of that?
I saw the video like anybody else. I can't speak for Rebecca. I can tell you that she doesn't have a master's degree, bachelor's degree, or any other degree in public speaking. So I can't speak as to that. Same thing for Jake. The thing that I don't understand, and like you're saying, this isn't like a normal investigation. Why has the sheriff's department not even released a missing persons flyer?
Thank you, Hope.
Let's put the onus on. There's not been one search party.
No, they did. They released the missing persons flyer. We showed it. Yeah, we're showing it right now on the air.
That's actually provided by mom and dad. Look at the phone numbers, Ashley. Let's be clear about that. Mom and dad.
So that's the parents' one.
Has mom and dad's phone
Let
numbers.
me ask my control room. Let me ask my. I got you.
Look at her. She's like, calm the F down, dude. I got you.
Vincent, I got you. Let me ask my control room if they can also find a picture of the flyer that we were told by the police that they had released because they could not invoke an Amber Alert.
I don't like him. I don't like him. I can just tell you.
You can't issue an Amber Alert unless you have a vehicle and a license plate. Otherwise, there'd be
I don't like him either.
Pretty much every 5 minutes of every day, and nobody would respond. So I'm just being told by my control room we don't have a picture of the police flyer, but the police told us they released a flyer. Can you tell me this? KTLA is reporting that the Harrow's 2-year-old has been removed from the home. Is that true?
That's what everybody's stating. I mean, Mr. and Mrs. Harrow have not been.
He's your client. Has your client told you?
Good for her. Like he's pushing back. Like you're the goddamn lawyer and you're evading a question. You just look suspect. You just look like a piece of I don't know what up there. I'm sorry. That's just my opinion. I'm legally entitled to making it. I don't like you and your vibe as an attorney. You are way too offensive. You are personalizing this way too much for a lawyer to be on News Nation. As if you're personally feeling attacked. You're way too emotional, and you've surely got to have 2 brain cells that you can rub together that say, they pled guilty before. There's got to be a pattern here. This doesn't look good. So why are you so personally attacked on this and avoiding her questions point blank? I watch Ashley Banfield all the time. I've never seen her get like this with anybody, ever. I'm going to rewind it, and we're going to watch it again because I'm going to stop talking for a little bit. I just don't like him.
Cases and is speaking on Jake's behalf today. Hey, Vincent, thank you for doing this today. Big question. Why have Rebecca and Jake stopped cooperating with the police if they're desperate to find the baby and the police are looking for the baby?
I don't know where the statement that they stopped cooperating came from, Ashley. I spoke to the detectives yesterday.
The police
to continue to speak with them have not been made aware of any requests today to speak with Jake. I don't represent Rebecca. That needs to be very clear. But I have not been asked to produce Jake. I offered to produce Jake. They voluntarily turned over all of their electronic devices including the passwords. I think that's something that's huge that nobody has been made aware of.
Let me just stop you for 1 second. I don't want to interrupt you, but you just said you don't know where the statement came from, Mr. Hughes. I'm going to read you the statement the police sent to us. Investigators interviewed multiple individuals, including Emmanuel's parents, Jake and Rebecca Harrow. During those interviews, Rebecca was confronted with inconsistencies in her initial statement and declined to continue with the interview. So the statement came from the police themselves.
And I can't speak to the statement that was sent to you. I can tell you, I have personal knowledge. I reached out to the assigned detective and made Jake available. Jake wants to cooperate. Jake doesn't like the fact that nobody's listening. Court of public opinion is already out. Even yourself, it sounds like you guys already have your mind made up. Jake has voluntarily provided the electronic devices that there was a search warrant for, including the passwords. The vehicle that you were saying is breaking news that you brought up at the beginning of this broadcast is not something that is new. They haven't had their vehicle since Thursday night when this alleged kidnapping happened. So it's not new that you're saying at the beginning of this broadcast that it's new information. The vehicle is gone and make it sound like they just took the vehicle today. The vehicle's been gone since Thursday.
Yeah.
Okay, so what? So what? You know, you could just say, hey, listen, I get emotionally charged. I know I get emotionally charged. Y'all have heard me say 100 times I still have PTSD, and this emotionally makes me very upset and charges me emotionally. But I'm not an attorney on News Nation right now. I'm just a lonely little small YouTuber channel talking to you about real life shit, you know? But this I know he gives me creepy vibes. I don't like him. Sorry, dude. Just don't like your vibe on News Nation. And you didn't come out and help your clients. If your intention was to come out and help your clients, you didn't do them any favors. Let's just leave it like that.
But I will say this. This is a case that is definitely different than most missing children cases I cover, and I've done this for 38 years. When the police send me out a statement saying that foul play is potentially
she's
afoot,
like, don't F with me, you little effer.
Cadaver dogs to the house. And that the parents aren't cooperating, then yeah, spidey senses go up. I was actually very concerned when Rebecca referred to Emmanuel in past tense as well. Are you aware of that?
I saw the video like anybody else. I can't speak for Rebecca. I can tell you that she doesn't have a master's degree, bachelor's degree, any other degree in public speaking. So I can't speak as to that.
Oh my God. You don't need a bachelor's degree in public speaking to get the past and future and present tense right. Like, this guy is wild.
Same thing for Jake. The thing that I don't understand, and like you're saying, this isn't like a normal investigation. Why has the sheriff's department not even released a missing persons flyer? Let's put the onus on. There's not been one search party.
No, they did. They released the missing persons flyer. We showed it. Yeah, we're showing it right now on the air.
That's actually provided by mom and dad. Look at the phone numbers, actually. Let's be clear about that. Mom and dad.
So that's the parents' one.
Mom and dad's phone numbers.
Let me ask my control room. I got you. Vincent, I got you. Let me ask my control room if they can also find a picture of the flyer that we were told by the police that they had released because they could not invoke an Amber Alert.
Right?
I know you know as an attorney, you can't issue an Amber Alert unless you have a vehicle and a license plate. Otherwise, they're...
He has to have dollars to donuts, you YouTube sleuths. There is a familial, a family, or a friendly relationship between Jake and this attorney. They coincidentally look to be about the same age. He is personalizing this way too much. I'm telling you, I get the spidey sense. He personally knows this guy, Jake, his client. Just saying.
The Amber Alerts going off pretty much every 5 minutes of every day, and nobody would respond. So I'm just being told by my control room we don't have a picture of the police flyer, but the police told us they released a flyer. Can you tell me this? KTLA is reporting that the Harrow 2 has been removed from the home. Is that true?
That's what everybody's stating. I mean, Mr. and Mrs. Harrow.
Listen to this. Listen to the avoidance of the question. They're stating, everybody's stating that the 2-year-old's been removed from the home. Listen to his avoidance of the question.
That's what everybody's stating. I mean, Mr. and Mrs. Harrow have not been
alleged.
He's your
client. Has your client told you? Do you know from your client if he's lost his 2-year-old child from the home?
That the child has been removed and law enforcement wanted them to produce the child. Yes, he did produce the child. As far as is the child in the home, no. Mr. Harrow does not have his 2-year-old and is not being allowed access to his 2-year-old.
But look at how long look at how she had to dig for him to get to the honest truth. This guy also lies. Like he's just not a cool dude, in my opinion. Sorry, not sorry.
They had
like
the children before
wild.
This incident with no criminal case filed. So I don't know what changed. There's nothing here that's been provided that they did anything unfoot to these children, the 2-year-old or 7-month-old baby Daniel. The reason I'm on this show, to be very clear, is they're begging for the public to help. They're begging for people to provide information. There was a missing tip that was not provided previously, or it was provided to law enforcement. Law enforcement did not provide it to anybody else. And until I started speaking with media this morning, now law enforcement acknowledges, oh yes, we were aware of that tip. Law enforcement is being very tight-lipped about the situation. That's what's concerning. No search parties have been organized. These parents.
It's concerning because your client is the prime suspect, dude. Like,
They don't have a name for it. Like I said, they voluntarily gave up all of their devices after search warrant was issued. They gave passwords and everything. How can they assist in this? Their home is in a very remote area, in an area where it's over 100 degrees during a heat wave. They have no reliable transportation. They don't have phones or internet to contact people because their devices have been taken. So how can they participate? Everyone's made their mind up and saying that they're refusing to do anything. They can't.
Hold on. I think that let's just jump in right there. How you asked the question, how can they assist in this? Well, they could assist by continuing to be cooperative with the police. That would be the number one starter. Don't you believe that?
I'm telling you right now, Ashley, on national news, if the San Bernardino County Sheriff's Department would like to speak with Jake Harrow, we can make that happen tonight. I'm telling you that right now.
What about Rebecca?
Unequivocally. I don't represent Rebecca, so I can't make a statement for Rebecca.
Okay. Did Jake tell the police and Rebecca that she couldn't take a lie detector test?
I wasn't there. I can't confirm or deny that story. And in any event, I think most
you don't know that
attorneys,
from your client, though? You haven't spoken. Let me just ask you, because he said we need an attorney present, and the reporting is from the police is that Rebecca refused to take a lie detector test because Jake, her husband, said no unless there's an attorney present, and you are his attorney. Did he not discuss that with you?
He asked for his attorney to be present, from my understanding. As far as the lie detector test, no attorney in their right mind is going to say yes. Submit to something that's not admissible in court. You find a case where somebody voluntarily.
If my child was missing, Mr. Hughes, I would take any test you asked me to. I would cooperate. You could lock me up.
yeah, Mr. Hughes, if you are watching this, you should do your client a favor and just shut your mouth. Because, dude, you made a horrible case for your clients, in my opinion. You should just shut your mouth, just like you're telling your client to do. Don't do any more news press releases, because you don't speak eloquently. You look like you're personalizing this. You look like you're on the defensive. You got to know that your clients are prime suspects in this for obvious reasons. And you look ludicrous up there, and you look like a nut job who's not professional. I think you would be wise to just stay off camera. That's just my opinion. Just stay away from news, because you didn't make your clients look any better. In fact, you made them look worse, in my opinion.
For the rest of my life, and I would cooperate with the police.
I'm glad you said that, but it's easy to say something and it's a different sort of walk in somebody's shoes. There is not a normal for how you handle these situations. It's easy for everybody to state what should be happening and what's normal, but there's various situations for what's normal. We have everything from how John Walsh handled the situation to how Casey Anthony handled the situation. What is normal?
Yeah.
Normal is not a client who just confessed to brutally beating a 10-week-old infant 2 years ago, sir. That is not normal.
Well, there is no blueprint, as you say. This is an alarming situation for everyone involved, and it is awful. I will say to you tonight, it is awful if they truly are victims of someone taking their baby, and half the world believes, or maybe more than half the world believes, that there's something afoot with them. I can't imagine being in their shoes at all. Could you just confirm, because I'm not sure I'm 100% clear, Mr. Hughes, could you just confirm that their 2-year-old child has been taken from the home now?
The 2-year-old child is not at their home. I can confirm it.
Taken from their home by authorities?
Based on my understanding, that's a potential. I believe that the 2-year-old was removed, but I cannot say 100%. I can say the 2-year-old was not at home. It's troubling that there's no allegations and that 2-year-old was removed.
Well, listen, there's more than allegations. Your client, has a rap sheet, including child cruelty. So there are some reasons why they might have done that, and until they are thoroughly investigated to make sure every child is safe in that home. I really appreciate you being on. This is not an easy interview for you to do. This is an awful situation for everybody involved, and certainly for your client and his wife. It could go either way. I don't know if she's telling the truth, if he's telling the truth, and I don't know if they are horribly victimized in all of this. But Mr. Hughes, I do appreciate your time, and I appreciate your candor.
The only thing I'm asking, Ashley, this is one message Mr. Harrow wanted me to make sure I get out. If anyone has any information, whatever your belief is about Mr. Harrow or his family or anything like that, please provide that information to law enforcement. They're begging for the return of this child. They're begging for any information leading to Emmanuel's whereabouts. So if you have any information, please provide it. He's begging for that information. He feels like no one's listening to him. That's the key message from today. Not to debate his criminal record, not to debate anything else. He's begging that anyone provides any knowledgeable information to law enforcement. That's what we're asking. I really appreciate you for the platform to allow me to send out that message.
I appreciate that as well. And I'll just tell our viewers, you can call the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children any hour of the day with information on baby Emmanuel Haro. Again, thank you so much, Vincent Hughes. I appreciate this.
Y'all, what do y'all think? What do y'all think about that lawyer? I mean, that is, I don't know, man. It just at the very end, he finally calmed down. He finally calmed down, but he just seemed so defensive. Like, Uh, what do you wonder if the motor mouth has a, yeah, I don't know, y'all. I don't like the vibe. I don't like the vibe. I definitely don't like the vibe. Okay, let me just make sure that we watched all the videos. Oh, I forgot this one. Forgot this one, y'all. Let's watch this one. Man. And I thought it was also very interesting that we saw that detective think that there's no coincidence with that fire, the neighbor's fire. That I mean that it was very interesting for me to see. Okay, let's see. Let's watch this one.
I'm out of the car seat, and I laid him down so I could get his diapers ready. And somebody said, "Hold on, that's all I remember." And I saw white. And then hearing something, I fell on the floor, and I said, as I got up, I couldn't find my son. I checked all around my truck, and I ran into Big Five. And I asked the lady if she saw a baby or someone with a baby. She said no. It was Happy Boy.
That's Rebecca Haro talking about her son Emmanuel getting kidnapped, but you wouldn't know it because she never said his name. So in today's video, let's break down the rest of this interview and count the red flags. I'm Deception Detective, an attorney trained in statement analysis. This channel exposes lies and manipulation, so if that's your thing, hit subscribe. For exclusive videos, early access to new videos, and other cool perks, consider becoming a channel member. Link in description. If the names Rebecca Haro and Emmanuel Haro don't ring a bell, don't worry because this is a brand new case. I only know about it because my subscribers told me about it. So before we break out our deception decks and break down Rebecca's interview, here's a quick recap.
Days after Rebecca Haro reported her 7-month-old son's kidnapping in a California parking lot August 14th, investigators announced they cannot rule out foul play following, quote, inconsistencies found in Rebecca's testimony. According to an August 16th press release, the San Bernardino County Sheriff's Department says deputies in Yucaipa were dispatched to a retail business after Rebecca Haro reported that while she stood outside her vehicle changing her child's diaper, she was physically assaulted by an unknown male and rendered unconscious. When she awoke, her 7-month-old infant, Emmanuel Haro, was gone. Despite deputies and canine units being dispatched to the
We can only hope. We can only hope.
county, along with the neighboring Riverside County, authorities confirmed that Emmanuel hasn't been found. Due to the circumstances surrounding the baby's disappearance, the Sheriff's Specialized Investigations Division took over the case. The statement explains investigators interviewed multiple individuals, including Emmanuel's parents, Jake and Rebecca Haro. During those interviews, Rebecca was confronted with inconsistencies in her initial statement and declined to continue with the interview. Authorities affirmed their dedication to finding the baby, while also emphasizing,
everybody.
at this point in the investigation, investigators are unable to rule out foul play in the disappearance of Emmanuel. According to local affiliate NBC4, the Sheriff's Department visited the Haro family's house on August 17th amid their ongoing investigation. Rebecca previously gave her account of the incident to NBC4, while noticeable bruising could be seen around her eye. Her husband Jake also spoke with the outlet. E-News has reached out to the San Bernardino County Sheriff's Department and Haro's attorney for comment and has not yet heard back.
So that's the rundown. An opportunistic kidnapper apparently knocked out Rebecca in broad daylight, but only after greeting her in Spanish in order to kidnap her seemingly disabled baby. Rebecca somehow ended up with a black eye and no other injuries, and apparently there were no witnesses because Rebecca said she woke up on the pavement, or rather the floor was how she put it, which is interesting, put a pin in that, all by herself. And yeah, if all that sounds pretty unlikely, that's because it is, which brings me to the last thing I want to recap before we start breaking down her interview word by word. And that's how I set my baseline whenever I'm analyzing a brand new case. We always set our baseline at the statistically most likely scenario. In the case of a missing or deceased toddler, it's usually the parents covering up something they did by accident or mistake because accidents and mistakes are infinitely more common than first-degree murders or stranger kidnappings. And why cover it up? Because some accidents or mistakes or acts of violence, even if they're not premeditated, are obviously illegal, like shaking the baby if you lose your patience with them, or being neglectful or drunk or high while your kid is doing something that ultimately leads to them suffering an injury or getting killed. In other words, any evidence that suggests the parent's guilt when a little kid goes missing, I'm going to value very heavily, and any evidence that suggests something unlikely, like a stranger kidnapping, I'm going to scrutinize very carefully, just like this mother's story, because it's unlikely, and I need extraordinary evidence to support an extraordinary claim. So with all that said, without further ado, let's start assessing the evidence we have.
I got him out of the car seat, and I laid him down so I could get his diapers ready. And somebody said, "Hold on, that's all I remember." And I saw white. And then hearing something, I fell on the floor, and I said, as I got up, I couldn't find my son. I checked all around my truck, and I ran into Big Five, and I asked the lady if she saw a baby or someone with a baby. She said no.
Besides the obvious implausibility of Rebecca's story, my second biggest problem with it is that it's all prologue. She spends very little time talking about the actual assault and kidnapping. Instead, she lingers on everything that led up to it, and then wraps up with 1 or 2 sentences about what she did afterwards. I put the long prologue card from my deception deck on your screen if you want to read the full rule, but the main gist is that liars often tend to linger on the true parts of their story and rush through the made-up parts, because that's how they get exposed. In this case, I suspect Rebecca really did change Emmanuel's diapers in the car at some point. That's why it's easy for her to linger on that and describe it in detail. But I don't think she's ever been knocked out from behind in a parking lot and had her son kidnapped, because she glossed over her search for Emmanuel after she came to, any pain she might have been feeling, actually running around and looking for him in the shop in about a sentence or two. And another reason I think that part of the story was made up is because of the tone. She doesn't sound like an actual victim. Actual victims who get knocked out and pushed to the ground don't describe it as them falling on the ground. But Rebecca seems very neutral about it. She fell on the floor. Somebody said hola to her. She was looking for somebody with a baby, not some evil Spanish speaker who has her baby and might be in the shop right now. Everybody be on alert. My point is, in this brief clip, we already have a royal flush of deception deck cards, but the biggest red flag is about to come up, so let's keep listening.
And I ran into Big Five, and I asked the lady if she saw a baby or someone with a baby. She said no. It was a happy boy. He smiled. Mackenzie loved to kiss him.
He was a healthy baby. He was crawling, he was kicking, and he was playing with his toys. Whoever took our son, please give him back.
The first rule of statement analysis is that we always speak based on everything we know, even if we're trying to lie. And the most famous rule of statement analysis is that if you did something to your kid, do not talk about them in the past tense. And that's because everyone knows the story of Susan Smith, who talked about her children in the past tense because she knew they were dead, when she was actually claiming that they'd only been kidnapped. And as you just heard, both of Emmanuel's parents talked about him in the past tense, which makes it safe to assume that they have some reason to believe that he's no longer with us. He's in the past. But besides that, there are a couple other reasons to suspect their guilt just based on this brief clip. For example, neither of them used Emmanuel's name, which might suggest that they don't see Emmanuel as a person anymore, so he doesn't deserve a name, maybe because he's already passed away. Or
now she does use Emmanuel's name in another clip, and I did take a screenshot, Rita, of that photo, and I do see purple under his lips. So I hope you're still here, because when this clip is done in about 45 seconds, I'm going to show that picture of baby Emmanuel close up, and there is some purple around his lips. So I don't know. You might be right there. Some might be a proof of life photo. I don't know, sweetie, but let's listen to the last 45 seconds, and then we'll look at that.
maybe because they've been neglecting and abusing him for a long time. And finally, let's circle back to that pin we put in Rebecca's use of the word floor when she said she fell to the floor. That's not what a parking lot is. It's typically described as the ground or pavement. So why did she say floor? Maybe her English just isn't very good. Maybe she just has a low IQ. Psychopaths typically have lower IQs than the average person. Or maybe, like I think she was doing with that diaper changing story, she was recounting something that actually happened, but just changing the dates. So she was accurately describing getting knocked out and waking up, but she wasn't waking up in a parking lot. She was waking up on the floor, maybe of her home. If you want to continue this series, let me know by liking, commenting, and sharing. Check the end card for related videos. Until next time.
Yeah, so I just pulled up. Oh, man. Pulled up the picture, Rita. So come on. There it is. When you zoom in, this does look purple, y'all. This is not a shadow. This is not a shadow. This is as close as I can get it. But this looks like purpling under his lips. I don't know, sweetie. I'm going to have to meditate on this one. Oh, thank you, honey. Thank you, Rita. I love you too. Oh yeah, somebody requested, I just want to make sure, I can't remember because I got so many emails, and I did respond. I think it's a member of ours that I said I would look for doing a reading on Jack and Lily that actually there's another brother outside of Justin that Daniel Martell apparently has, another brother outside of Justin. I just can't do that reading until I can validate that that is true, honey. So if you're watching and I haven't emailed you back yet, I'm just looking to see if that's true. That Daniel Martell actually had outside of Justin another brother, but You think it's bruising, Donna? I don't know. Uh, yeah, I know, Krista. I don't know. I'm conflicted. I'm gonna meditate on this one. Let me just sit with it. Let me sit with the energy for a second. I know, honey. I know. And even in the neck, look in the neck here. It's red. It's red on his neck. Even in here, it's like bruised and discolored. It's bruised and discolored. And his eye, look at his eye up here, has that same coloring under his lip. Under his eye has the same coloring under his lip. Oh, I know. But look at here. Look at here. I wish I could move my I wish I could. Here, let me remove my. I don't know if you can hear me when I remove myself. So look at this is the same bruising in here as it is here. I know, and I think Rita is wondering if he's deceased, and this looks like a proof of life photo. It could be. It really could be. Because like no, and why take it on this angle? This is it. Like it's a weird photo to take, you know? Oh, I have a it just I just all I feel like I know. I know. He does not look well at all. You're right, Rita. But I'm also starting to wonder now if this is a proof of life photo. I can tell you, usually I can tell because with the Find Me group, I have a case to work on after this too, if it's due today for the Find Me group. We've had 2 this week. I can tell you I can normally tell from a photo right away. I'm going to get back to you, Rita, on this one. I'm kind of undecided because I think there is a lot of lack of brain activity. He doesn't look happy, but whether he's alive or not well in this moment is or not alive is what she's asking. Um, and like I say, in the Find Me group, you get a picture and just a short blurb, and usually I tap into the picture right away because one of the criteria is deceased or alive. And I can usually tell pretty quickly off a photo. And this one, I'm really on the fence on. It could go either way right now for me. It really could go either way. I'd love to know when this picture was taken. I know, sweetie. I know. I know. I know. I get it, Jeanette. I get it. And it could be. I'm not saying no. I'm not saying no. I'm saying it's possible. You're right, both of you. Oh, you're welcome, Linda, sweetie. I know. I know. I mean, this is a horrible thing to say, but if this kid was being abused and he's no longer alive, at least he's not suffering. But man, there needs to be justice for these 2 kids. This is just outrageous. This 10-month-old, and I don't know. Make karma hit his ass really hard is all I have to say. And hers too. And hers too. Um, because at this point she's lying. And stranger things have happened. Not going to tell anybody to go hurt them, but maybe God will intervene, because they are just they. I mean, this man for sure deserves to be in jail for life, in my opinion. Rita, I'm going to meditate on it, and when we do our next live, remind me to ask me, and I'll give you an answer either way. But I am on the fence right now, and again, I normally tap into pictures first, and right now I'm just on the fence. I think it could go either way. And I think I'm on the fence because there's really not a lot of a lot going on energetically in his body in this photo. And that's why it's presenting like it could be either way for me right at this moment. So I haven't meditated, so I'll need to meditate on that first and get back to you. Wild. Wild. Oh, okay, everybody. Some clotting, are you saying? On his left cheek, gut feeling. Some clotting like up here. I think she's going to give it up. I think she's going to give it up. Yeah, let's pray. Exactly. Are you talking about up here, some clotting on his chin, like up here? Because I see that as well, maybe. But the most concerning is under the lips for me. Modeling. What is modeling, honey? I don't know what that is. Modeling. Let me look it up. Modeling skin. Mottled skin is skin condition characterized by bluish red lace-like pattern on skin, often appearing on the extremities. It occurs when blood flow to tiny vessels under the skin is disrupted, causing the skin to appear blotchy or marbled. While mottling can be a temporary response to cold exposure or stress, it can also be a sign of an underlying medical condition or, in some cases, end of life. Ooh. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Yeah, no kidding. Oh, you're welcome, honey. And the neck, too. You're right. That's what I was saying. Like it looks all bruised in here. You might be right, Rita. You might be right. You really might be right, honey. Because it's all in here. Look at it. Like that's a really big area to be dark. That's a large area to be dark because it is. It's all like, follow his t-shirt and follow that line, and you can see it all down here. There's even some into this chin, into the eye, and under the lips, and here on the chin. It's got the cheek closest to the ground. It's got it all. I know. It's very strange, Hope. I think what the theory is this an attempt at a proof of life photo after August 3rd that is maybe not a proof of, it's a proof of an unaliving. I don't know. But listen, stick around for tomorrow. I'm going to cover Amy Bradley. We're going to do that as a reading. I'm going to do what I wanted to do today, which I'm going to do tomorrow now, which is, let me tell you, because I had to move it to Friday or Thursday, because I just could not do this case today with everything else going on. So tomorrow I have, my whole agenda for you. I got to work on my tarot deck. Cold case. I wanted to show you, I told you so video. Y'all, remember when I, I know, sweetie. I know, sweetie. Welcome in. I hope you're not just getting here now. We've been live 3 hours and 12 minutes, and I'm just wrapping up. But I just want to tell you what's going down tomorrow. I want to look at Amy Bradley's case. Brian Anton, you remember, y'all, I did that reading. Y'all, some of you will remember, but I privatized it because it just seemed like nobody cared about the case, and I'm going to re-show it. Remember the sheriff that killed the judge in his quarters? And I did the reading, and I'm going to show you the reading I did right away, and it came up prostitution, and everybody at the time was not suspecting the judge of anything. Well, Brian Etten just did a video, and boy, oh boy, there's prostitution that was going on. And so I just want to compare that. And Krista, you remember? Yeah, so I just want to I told you so, I was right with this reading, and just show you that. At Amy Bradley, we're going to do the case. And then I thought I would do a cold case video as well. And then Jake and Lily live. I thought we could go into Jake and Lily live because we haven't done that for a while. So stay tuned. Lots going to go on tomorrow. Okay, so there'll be several videos and likely a live. I really like this live time at 2. It worked out really well for me, and we had a bunch of people in here today. So probably going to try that time again tomorrow. So everybody that's been here throughout this whole live, I love you all. Grateful to all of you. Remember all of remember, says Rita. Remember to do all the YouTube things on the way out if you're watching from your TV. And we'll see everybody tomorrow. Love and light. I'm not sure, but I would suspect I'll do a live again at 2 because I liked this time. Okay. Videos in the morning, maybe videos after 2, and live at 2. Okay, everybody. Have a great night. Thank you for being here with me for these 3 hours and almost 20 minutes, 15 minutes. Have a great evening and talk to you tomorrow.